Innovation changes everything. With one investment, you can access the most even investors are waiting for some products for decades with charges and frameworks.
I get it. It's hard to change. Me? I'm pretty loyal. I've been on the same team for 17 years. Same coach for 11. Let me switch my number once. It's like everyone with a pass in the same guy. Check yours. You can imagine how good it's going to have to be to
Almost 20% of the people are on July level.
Presented by AT&T matchup of James Madison. Oregon.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a little loud. Sorry about that for the people that are tuned in right now. We are getting ready. The selection committee for the Sun Bowl is in the back room, waiting to see who will be joining us here for the 92nd Sun Bowl game. The favorites right now are Arizona State and SMU. For some people that may not know, SMU now moved over to the ACC. That's the reason why. The Sun Bowl game pits up the ACC and the Pac-12 due to the Pac-12 kind of losing some of the teams that they had a few years ago. The Sun Bowl tournament is still able, or the Sun Bowl game is still able to have some of the teams from the Pac-12, even though they are now in new conferences. That's the reason why they can have Arizona State, who is currently in the Big 12, and obviously the ACC. That conference has pretty much stayed intact over the last couple of years with all the movement and everything that they've got going on over there. You can comment here on the show. Let us know who it is that you would like to see in the 92nd Sun Bowl game, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. Wise OG asking, how does the process work? Does the committee pick, or do the teams have to agree to play? It kind of goes a little bit with that. Let me bring up the exact rules. I know with the ACC that the Sun Bowl can choose a team anywhere between the 4th place team in the ACC and the 8th place team in the ACC, along with Notre Dame, should Notre Dame not be chosen for a bowl prior to the time that the Sun Bowl gets to choose their games. And I am trying to remember off the top of my head while I try to bring all this stuff up, who it is that they get from the Pac-12. What place finisher of the Pac-12 they normally get. All right. Threw me a nice little curveball there, Wise OG. And of course, my internet here is a little slow.
Thank you. Appreciate you. James Madison. Good hands. Comes away from the team that's done for the face. James Madison, strong performance. Good for you. Even a 5-4 ball. Free with a long run that night. Right into the night.
Sorry, I got caught up watching TV right here. Looking at some of the news that came out, Miami making it into the college football playoff, while Notre Dame has been kept out of the college football playoff. And you have a 3-loss Alabama team being in the playoff as well. There we go. Looking that up right there. It is also anywhere between the 5th and 8th place finisher of the Pac-12, which again allows us to have, because of the way that the Pac-12 dissolved kind of a couple of years ago with the movement of teams like USC, UCLA, Cal, Washington, etc., Oregon, those teams moving out of the Pac-12, they still have the ability to be selected by the Sun Bowl committee because of existing affiliations that they have with the Pac-12. I believe it's 5 years starting in 2022 or 2023. I've got to get that number off the top of my head here in just a little bit. But remember, the Sun Bowl is a game between the representatives of the ACC with the possibility of having Notre Dame. Just a couple of years ago, we had Notre Dame here in El Paso. They took on Oregon State out of the Pac-12. That was a great game that we had. So obviously Notre Dame, because of Miami moving into the college football playoff, that's going to cause a little bit of a curveball, the delicious chaos that I was looking for as a sports fan myself. Miami representing the ACC in the college football playoff in those 12 teams. That pushes Notre Dame out. Obviously, Notre Dame being a 10-win team, they might be picked up by a team like the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Those are some of the teams that are in the ACC bowl partners that they have, along with the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. The first group of teams that get to select are obviously the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is a very fun bowl if you haven't watched that on TV. It's one of the best bowl games you can watch on TV, outside, of course, of the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Then, of course, finishing off Group 1 is the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Group 2 is the Bad Boys Motor Bowl, along with the Duke's Mayo Bowl and the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. So you would need, hypothetically, for Notre Dame to not be chosen by those 5 bowl games in order for Notre Dame to get here. Now, what happened yesterday with Duke winning or losing rather in the ACC championship game, or actually no, Duke won that game. I had to remember it was an interception late at the end of the game that Virginia threw. Duke winning that game throws a lot of chaos into the ACC and the potential teams that we can get in the ACC. Augustine asking what crappy team. They're not going to be any crappy teams. So as of right now, you have Duke as the number 1 team with an 8-5 record in the ACC right now. Virginia, the number 2 team in the ACC right now. Miami, the number 3 team in the ACC with a 10-2 record. Pittsburgh, the number 4 team. So Pittsburgh right now would be the favorite. SMU as number 5. Georgia Tech with an outside chance. And, of course, Cal, Clemson, NC State, Louisville, Wake Forest. Those are the teams that are bowl eligible in the ACC. You also have to remember that because of Notre Dame being affiliated with the ACC, they're not an ACC team per se, but they are affiliated with the ACC. Any type of bowl game that Notre Dame is in is an ACC-style bowl game if it's not for the college football playoff. Augustine saying all these games are the I don't care bowls. Those are fun bowl games. Augustine also going on to say that I sound just like a Dallas Cowboys fan Thursday at 5:25 in the morning or 5:25 in the afternoon, right before the debacle against the Detroit Lions. I was optimistic, but I also wanted the Detroit Lions to win that game so that way I could lose all hope and faith in the Dallas Cowboys and focus in on my favorite college football team, which shall be unnamed at this moment. There are a group of people that do know what it is, but now I can focus on them. Don't have to worry about being disappointed by the Dallas Cowboys. But again, this is the Sun Bowl selection show that we have going on right out here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino in Sunland Park, New Mexico. The Sun Bowl is the 92nd Sun Bowl that we're going to have, the second oldest bowl game in the United States, following, of course, the Rose Bowl itself. It's a very historic game that we have here at the Sun Bowl, and always a fun game. Always a fun game. 4 out of the last 5 Sun Bowl games have been one-possession games, that one outlier being just 2 years ago whenever Notre Dame came in and beat I was looking to see if I could hear what is being said right now. Augustine Pimentel, the hater of everything El Paso and Sun Bowl, apparently. I got nothing but love for you, though, Augustine. You know that. I want to say thank you to everyone who has tuned in over on X, on Facebook, on YouTube as well. I appreciate you all tuning in as we are getting ready to show and announce who is going to be representing in the or representing the conferences, either the ACC, the Big 12, or the Pac-12, with the teams that we're going to be having here at the 92nd Sun Bowl game. Right now, though, we will take a quick little break while we are waiting to hear from the selection committee, because obviously you are not tuned in to hear my voice. So we will be back in a couple of seconds. Obviously, if the selection is made while we are on this little break, we will cut right back to it. You don't have to watch the whole break through if the selection is getting made. Augustine says, get NC State. At least I can fly some clients in from Wake Forest. Wake Forest is also available for selection here in the 92nd Sun Bowl game. Always give love to my friends over in North Carolina, where I was stationed at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base a few years ago. Wow, it was 13 years ago now that I'm thinking about it. I am old. Getting very old. But like I said, we will take... Wise OG is asking who are the teams that are available to the Sun Bowl right now. So the teams that we have available to the Sun Bowl out of the Pac-12, quote-unquote Pac-12, these are called Pac-12 legacy teams because of being in the Pac-12 prior to the Pac-12 being dissolved, quote-unquote, a few years ago, the mass exodus of teams that left the Pac-12. We have Arizona, Arizona State, and Washington that could be selected to be teams here in the Sun Bowl. Washington more than likely kind of on the outs of the possibility of getting in. Cal is a small outlier as well, despite the fact that Cal is currently in the ACC. So if we do select Cal, then you have the possibility of getting two ACC teams playing against each other, which would be intriguing. So there are the possibilities of those teams in the Pac-12, just three teams to choose from in the Pac-12. When it comes to the ACC, this is where the big curveball is going to be thrown, is how are some of these teams moved around? Miami obviously is not going to be a team that the Sun Bowl can select, even though they are the third place team in the conference, because of Miami making it to the college football playoff. So right now, the teams that you can choose from, the way that they are seeded, would be the small, very small outlying chance of getting Notre Dame. I say that's like a less than 1% chance of being able to pull that one off. Then you have Pittsburgh, who is currently the fourth place team in the ACC, SMU, Georgia Tech, Cal, which was mentioned previously with the Pac-12, Clemson, North Carolina State, Louisville, and Wake Forest. Those could be the potential teams. Obviously, the chance increases with some teams, decreases with other teams. But those are the teams out of the ACC. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, as Augustine is mentioning, Notre Dame, get you all the Catholic viewers. I guess you could say that. But Notre Dame, also, I mean, clearly Notre Dame, Miami, if you can get schools like that to come into the Sun Bowl game, then that, of course, would be one of those games where you don't worry about audience. You know there's always going to be an audience. But I will say, out of the 10 years or so of the Sun Bowl, 90%, so 9 out of the last 10 years, have been sellouts or near sellouts. By what I mean by near sellouts is the Sun Bowl sits about 52,000 people, and the near sellout would be about 50,000 people or more. So the Sun Bowl is always a great bowl game. Like obviously the connection they have with CBS, where they've been on CBS now for 57 consecutive years. For those of you that follow the business practices of college sports and anything of that nature, you know that the ESPN, the mothership, has the majority of the bowl games. CBS having the Sun Bowl, I believe it's a one bowl game that CBS has right now. So that's the corporate partnership, the TV partner that the Sun Bowl has is on CBS. They've been doing that for 57 consecutive years here, obviously minus the missing COVID season, which is why we cannot call it the 92nd annual Sun Bowl. It's just the 92nd Sun Bowl, because there have been years where the Sun Bowl hasn't been played. But again, I mentioned a little earlier, I'm going to take a quick break. So I will do that. We will be back in just a few seconds. Of course, if the selection is made while we're on break, we will cut out of that break and come right back to it here on the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network.
There's nothing that we're going to do other than give our absolute best effort for this opportunity. One of our guys coming to be back. Joe, we know that it's going to be a difficult and time-consuming couple of weeks leading into this, but look forward to seeing the game with Tulane against the Big 12.
Sorry about that, y'all. There was no audio apparently going through, which is a technical problem that we are going to be fixing on right here. I know that y'all can hear me, which is awesome. I see here that Anthony Montes, 8637, is saying Arizona, Washington versus Clemson, Louisville is what he is going on right now. Hopefully Anthony is still hanging out with us here as we are getting ready for the Sun Bowl Selection Committee to make their selection. They are in the room right now, being inundated with it. Once again, if you were not completely familiar with the selection process, Augustine is saying, is it a bathroom break? No, it was a drink break. I had to get my my soda here. I'll put it on camera. I had to get something to drink. There you go. I have to do stuff too, Augustine. Come on, guy. Come on. But we are getting ready here. The selection should be made here in a little bit. If you are in fantasy football and you have Trevor Lawrence, apparently he just threw a touchdown, a 14-yard touchdown to Jacoby Myers. Yes, I am one of the few people that has Trevor Lawrence on their fantasy team. It's a dynasty league. Don't judge me. Augustine saying, are they making the selection or are they seeing what is left? They are making the selection. Remember, they all the bowl games kind of work in concert with one another on how they select things. Augustine says, every time you say the word guy, I think of South Park. What are you talking about there, guy? I feel bad for the people that are new to the shenanigans that I do, where I am a serious sports journalist that does not take sports seriously at all. As we are looking at the current college football playoff right now, we'll go over this. Indiana, with their win over Ohio State yesterday, moves up to number 1. Ohio State moving down to number 2. Georgia stays at number 4, and Texas Tech Georgia stays at number 3. Texas Tech stays at number 4. Those teams have a bye in the first round of the CFP. Now you have Oregon. They will take on number 12, James Madison. Ole Miss at number 6 will take on number 11, Tulane. Yes, you heard that right. There are two group of 5 teams in the college football playoff right now. Texas A&M at number 7 will take on Miami, and then Oklahoma will take on Alabama. Earlier this year, Oklahoma handing Alabama one of their 3 losses. Alabama, a 3-loss team, ranked at number 9 right now. Miami at number 10, and you can hear there that there was the missing piece of Notre Dame. So with Miami making it in, Notre Dame not making it into the college football playoff, that now puts Notre Dame into the realm of possibility, more than likely not. So don't get your hopes up if you are a huge Sun Bowl fan that Notre Dame might be making it here to the Sun Bowl. Once again, I believe like the actuality of that happening is going to be slim to none. But because Duke won the ACC yesterday, that moves a bunch of teams around, that pushes a bunch of teams around, and that causes some chaos for the Sun Bowl, similar to what we had in 2023. If you remember, in 2023, Florida State goes undefeated, and in the last couple of games of the season, it was either the conference championship game or the game right before the conference championship game, they lose their star quarterback, and they get left out of what was then a 4-team playoff. And that moved Notre Dame. It pushed a bunch of people around. It made Florida State eligible to go to the first group of teams there as well. And, of course, there is no guarantee that the 8-win Duke team gets chosen by those first group teams of the Sun Bowl or of the ACC. So in bowl season, you have 3 different groups of bowls that you can be selected to if you're the ACC. You have the Direct TV Holiday Bowl, the Pop-Tart Bowl, and the Tax Slayer Bowl. That is Group 1. There is no guarantee that because Duke won the ACC yesterday, that they would be taken in those bowls. So you could see the Pop-Tarts Bowl, hypothetically choosing a team like Notre Dame now that Notre Dame is available to them. You also have a 10-win Virginia team that can be taken there. You have Pittsburgh, an 8-win team that can be taken there. You have Georgia Tech, a 9-win team that can be taken by any of those schools now. So Duke winning the ACC threw a curveball, a huge wrench into the proceedings of what could be going on with what's going on right now with the Sun Bowl Selection Committee. We have the camera at the stage. You'll see they will come out at that point in time whenever they are ready to make the selection. You saw on the camera our guy Richie Davis walking through with some of the Sun Bowl court. Anthony Montes asking, what ranking does the Sun Bowl have of getting a higher quality team? Sorry about that. Directing traffic while we're doing this. I have a microphone that for some reason is not getting any audio. Kind of the issue that we were having earlier, where we weren't getting any audio then. So the Sun Bowl selects anywhere in the ACC, the 4th team in the ACC, down to the 8th team in the ACC. So Right now, if we just look at the ACC standings, that would be Pittsburgh, SMU, Georgia Tech, and Cal. Cal, though, is in a very interesting position because they are considered what is a legacy team in the Pac-12 due to all the movement and things like that that happened over the last couple of years with, conference realignment and things like that. They are considered a Pac-12 legacy team. Any of the teams that were in the Pac-12 that are not in the college football playoff that are bowl eligible are available to the Sun Bowl to choose. Now, if you look at the current selection of Pac-12 teams, the teams that are in the Pac-12 as of this moment right now, the Sun Bowl can choose between the fifth place finisher of that conference. Sorry, working on different microphones and stuff like that. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4. I do not like the way that sounds. There we go. Kind of a little bit. Fix that. Fix that. Move that over here. We turn this way a little bit. Testing 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4. I apologize that we are troubleshooting on the fly as we are doing this right here. Test. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. Test 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Now it doesn't sound like I am being muffled in that one microphone. Okay, so now we are back. I want to see if it gets some audio over there. I want to make sure we have a good microphone or a good placement for a microphone whenever we have the selection of the Sun Bowl. I also hope they turn this TV down because while they were making announcements earlier, they didn't do that. Augustine saying it's also because the Sun Bowl doesn't pay as much as the others. It's not necessarily that. The purse you get for the Sun Bowl is obviously a pretty good purse. Like, you'd want the Sun Bowl to do that, but in order to do that, you would need some other things to happen. Like, obviously, I don't want to bore people with the business of bowl games or anything of that nature, but you wind up having a lot of different issues and things like that come in and really hinder what purses can be paid out, how they can be paid out, things of that nature. Now, we'll talk about that maybe on another show on the Tipping Point with my tip whenever we bring that back here. Okay, so Augustine saying it sounds fine. The angelic voice of Michael Tipton. When it comes to like quality teams, obviously, and this is the thing that I had, my way of trying to fix college football, and of course it's just my opinion on what it would do to fix the issues that college football has when it comes to these things, right? Because Notre Dame being a 10-win team, Virginia being a 10-win team, I believe they're more deserving of being there, and people might hate me for this, over the group of 5 teams. The group of 5 teams have no shot of winning the college football playoff. I do not believe group of 5 teams deserve to be in the college football playoff. You want to be there, go into the big boy conferences, and let's see what you can do then. Whenever you're beating Northeast, Southwest Technical State, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the record. Or it's teams like that help bolster up your record. Notre Dame, Virginia should be in the college football playoff. Tulane, James Madison, not so much. But that's just me on my high horse. Now we take a step back and get back to the proceedings here. The thing that I had for maybe helping out when it comes to college football would be a 25-team tournament, kind of like the NCAA tournament, where you have bye weeks and things of that nature, and you can make more of these bowl games matter. That's what really impacts viewership, Augustine, whenever you talk about those types of numbers, right? Like some of these bowls cannot pay as much as this other bowl pays because, viewership and things like that are something that's taken into account, whether or not you're a standalone bowl game at your time, or if you are just in the wash of the other 48 bowl games that might be being played at the time that it's being played at. So what happens in this scenario is that you make, these tiers, right? Like obviously your Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, those are going to be your legacy bowls that should, and rightfully so, get, the championship rounds, whether it's the semifinal, the final, whatever. Like those, bowls should be able to get that. And then you have the other bowl games, and you go with like historic bowl games. Like imagine if the Sun Bowl was a, semi or quarterfinal bowl game, and it's on TV and it's getting stuff like that. Now you're making the audience of not just these schools that are participating, but now you're making the general audience who love college football watch these games and participate in these games, allowing bowls like the Sun Bowl, which I feel is vastly underrated because of the history of what the Sun Bowl has had in the past. And maybe that's just me being my El Paso bias or whatever it may be. But now you bring in a storyline with these bowl games. Now you have less chance of stars sitting these games out because these bowl games mean something. Until college football makes the bowl game mean something, most people aren't necessarily going to care, right? And that's just the unfortunate truth about, a lot of the other bowls that are out there. I'll get off my high horse once again, and I will take any feedback that anybody has, should they choose to just crucify me. And I totally get it. I would understand. I am looking, seeing if I am hearing anything right now from some of the people that are out there that are in the know. Let's look at some of the bowls that might have already been established. I love that on the New York Times, the first picture is the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Tony the Tiger dumping a vat of corn or Frosted Flakes on the head coach of Louisville last year. Love that. Absolutely love that. We'll look at the live updates, see who is going where, the championship games and things of that nature. We have the first round of the playoffs selected once again. James Madison at Oregon, Alabama at Oklahoma, Tulane at Ole Miss, and Miami at Texas A&M. The winner of Miami, Texas A&M will face off against Ohio State. The winner of Tulane and Ole Miss will face number 3 Georgia. The winner of Alabama and Oklahoma will face number 1 Indiana, which is just weird to say. And then the winner of James Madison and Oregon will face number 4 Texas Tech. If you wanted to know what the rankings were outside of the top 10, obviously you have Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, and Miami. And then on the outside looking in, the first team out, Notre Dame at number 11, number 12, BYU. Both those schools kicked out because we have to include James Madison and Tulane. I sound like an absolute hater, but they do not belong in the college football playoff when you have a 10-win, 2-loss Notre Dame team and an 11-win BYU team. That's only 2 losses, came to the number 4 team in the country. Sure, they were blown out in both those games by Texas Tech, but they still absolutely had a fantastic season, and it's just a shame that BYU doesn't get to have a chance at the college football playoff. Then at number 13 is Texas, number 14 Vanderbilt, and then number 15 is Utah. According to sources 21 minutes ago, Texas will meet Michigan in the Citrus Bowl. We are waiting to hear from the Holiday Bowl as of right now. So because the Holiday Bowl is waiting to get their team selected, that is what is kind of causing the delay that we're going through right now with the Sun Bowl selection. Of course, remember, If you just tuned in, I will let you know that yesterday Duke winning the ACC championship really threw a curveball at everybody. It was the delicious chaos that I was looking for as just a sports fan and someone that hates the current system of college football at this moment, as far as the rankings and all that stuff goes. Miami getting into the college football playoff obviously throws another curveball, because most people would have thought over the last month or so, as a matter of fact, I believe it's been 5 weeks since the first college football playoff ranking came out, Notre Dame was ahead of Miami, despite Miami having the head-to-head matchup against Notre Dame in the very beginning game of the season. So those two curveballs impact the ACC. Obviously, we had mentioned the Sun Bowl here is an ACC adjacent game where you have the groups again. We'll go over these tiers of the playoff or of the college football bowl season that we have for the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Group 1 that gets to select teams from the ACC is the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and the Tax Slayer Bowl. In Group 2, you have the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which is always fun. Shout out to my guy, Mike Golick Jr., who's more than likely going to be on the call for that game, as he always is, a phenomenal representative of Duke's Mayo, and the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripes Bowl in Yankee Stadium. Then Group 3, you have the Go Bowling Military Bowl, the Fenway Bowl, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, the Birmingham Bowl, and the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Those are the teams or the bowls that select. Now, you look at the Pac-12 bowl partners that they have. You have the Valero Alamo Bowl, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl in San Diego, California, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, obviously us here at the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Art of Sport LA Bowl hosted by Gronk, which must be fun, the Radiance Technology Independence Bowl. So those are the bowls that get to choose between the ACC and the Pac-12. Augustine letting us know that one of his clients in Wake Forest hates Duke. So Augustine rooting for either NC State or Wake Forest, who again, Wake Forest does have an outside shot of making it to the here to the Sun Bowl. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the ACC with 8 total wins. Remember, to get bowl eligible, you just need 6. Then you have NC State, Clemson, and Cal. Hold on, we're getting an announcement right now.
Just trying to get you guys more information as best we can up here. And I'm going to bring up Bobet. He's going to introduce you guys to some of our Suncorp members as well. So back in that room right now, what's going on is we are waiting for phone calls from the Pac-12 where we have these 3 teams available for us to select from. So the pecking order on that side is actually pretty set in terms of how we are selected. The biggest conversations are happening on this side of the table right now with the CFP selection of Miami over Notre Dame. That's put some wrinkles in some bowls above us. Just so you guys are aware, outside of the CFP, which is the playoff, and they've just already made their selection, 3 other bowl games get to pick before our pool happens. And our pool is with the Pinstripe Bowl and also the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Okay? And so we're waiting for all the TDs to kind of fall from those phone calls above us, and then we'll kind of see between us 3 who ends up with a black eye and wins the fight. So hope you guys are enjoying the food. Please enjoy.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bo Backley. Once again, for your selection, this is my
well, let's see, 19th year helping either cover the Sun Bowl or serve on its board of advisors and board of directors. And you probably see a lot of people walking around. Of course, you saw Tony the Tiger a little bit earlier. I also want to introduce you to the Sun Board. Make sure, please take some time, take some pictures. Make sure let's get the president, Carolyn Mann, up here, and make sure introduce the court and say hello to everybody.
Hi everyone, my name is Caroline Mann. I'm this year's 2025 Sun Queen. I'm a junior at the University of Georgia, and I'm so honored to be standing up here with the Sun Court. I'll let them introduce themselves. But I just wanted to say I hope everybody has a great time. We're so happy you're here. Hi everyone, my name is Shanae and I'm the 2025 Lady in Waiting, and I attend the UTEP and we're so excited to have you here and find out who's going to be coming to our bowl game this year. Hi everyone, my name is Veronica and I go to UTEP. Hello everyone, I'm Miss Vega and I'm a junior at UTEP. Hello everyone, my name is Katie Shelley and I'm a senior at Marshall. Hello everyone, my name is Kim Gabriel and I'm a senior at UTEP. Hi everyone, my name is Lady Stokes and I'm a junior at NMSU. Hello, my name is Felicity Ramirez and I'm a junior at UTEP. Hello, my name is Ariana Katrina and I'm a junior at UTEP. Hi everyone, my name is Leah Perea and I'm a junior at Texas Tech University.
All right, thank you so much. Now, real quick, what is the Sun Board? Who do you guys want in the Sun Bowl? We're going to start with you. Who do you want in the Sun Bowl?
ASU in the Sun Bowl. Everyone at the Sun Bowl. ASU. ASU or Clemson? I think it's going to be Arizona. I would definitely like to see ASU or Clemson. ASU. I definitely like to see ASU as well. And I think ASU or Clemson.
Okay, clearly Arizona State is the most popular team out of the Pac-12 legacy schools. If you're not familiar, Pac-12 legacy schools are obviously all the schools. Some have gone to the Big Ten, some have gone to the ACC, some have gone to the Big 12. But per the college football playoff bowl game contracts, the Pac-12 legacy schools are still slated to come to El Paso. So let's find out what you guys want, everybody out here. Who do you want? How about from the Pac-12 legacy schools? Who wants Washington to get it for the second year in a row? Does anybody want Washington? How about Arizona State? Head coach Kenny Dillingham, understand him and his wife are expecting a baby too. So it'd be really fun to have a lot of the Arizona State fans. And of course, only 6 hours away over in Tempe, Arizona. It'd be a lot of fun from Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State. What about the University of Arizona? It's 4 hours away in Tucson. We'll see about University of Arizona. How about from the ACC side? Huge upset last night. Duke defeated Virginia in the ACC championship game. How about the Duke Blue Devils? Now, Clemson has kind of fallen off a little bit this year, 7-5. They did beat Furman and the rival South Carolina to end the season last year. Who would want to see the Clemson Tigers? I know someone who wants to see Clemson. Tony the Tiger right there. Would you like to have Clemson in the bowl game? I think so. How about the Pitt Panthers? Pitt has had a very nice season. Remember, they went in ranked against Notre Dame just a few weeks ago, lost that game, but Pitt was ranked throughout most of the season. How about the NC State Wolfpack? NC State's led by head coach Dave Doran. He's been there, I think, 6 or 7 years. NC State, always a very tough team. On a Friday night, they defeated my Florida State Seminoles. I would have loved to have been up here talking about my Seminoles, but they couldn't win any of the last couple of games. Oh, it's just a terrible season after you defeated Alabama. But how about the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets? Georgia Tech's had a great year this year, and a lot of fun to watch them. How about second year in a row, the Louisville Cardinals? Louisville played very well. What a game last year. Remember, Washington and Louisville played a 1-point game in the Super Bowl last year. And we also have the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Wake Forest has had a great year as well. So obviously, there are a lot of teams in the pool from the ACC side. Once again, the football committee is still meeting. We're hoping to have an announcement here very soon. But once again, we'll get to that. The 12 is the ACC in the Sun Bowl. Once again, remember, tickets are for sale with David Brown. David Brown back there. And remember, we'll have to make an announcement over by the big lights and the media from the El Paso Broadcasting Network. Want to make sure you get your tickets with David Brown. Let's make our selection here. We'll keep you updated, hopefully here pretty soon. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. A couple of the teams that people are looking to have here at Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. As, of course, they mentioned, the Pac-12 is the phone call that everyone's waiting on right now. And then, of course, the curveball that was thrown yesterday because of the Duke win, Duke causing all kinds of chaos. That might actually make me a little bit of a Duke fan. Did spend some time in North Carolina. Got super annoyed with Duke fans. But nonetheless, maybe that right there, them causing the chaos that I needed, might be the thing that makes me a Duke fan one of these days, or at least just for a little bit. Let's see what happens if Duke comes to the 92nd Sun Bowl game. I'll always say that Carolina blue is the most beautiful blue. We'll pan out here, show you all a little bit about just how awesome it looks right now at the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. They have the selection show happening over there on the big screen TV. A bunch of people out here supporting the Sun Bowl Association. There are more people behind us as well, but you can see a pretty decent crowd out here for the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. Tony the Tiger out there dancing, of course, doing his thing. We are just hanging out right now, waiting to see what's going on here on the selection show and everything that we are doing with the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. What teams do you want to see out there in the world of sports? Everyone that is watching, the 300 plus of you that are watching over on X, Facebook, and YouTube collectively, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network's coverage of the 92nd Sun Bowl, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl selection show over here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino in Sunland Park, New Mexico, right next to El Paso, Texas. If you haven't been out to a Sun Bowl game, you need to find a way to come out here to El Paso to be a part of the Sun Bowl game. I will say this until my very last breath, and maybe it's because I'm from here in the beautiful Sun City of El Paso, born and raised here, Socorro native, Socorro High School native, that the Sun Bowl game is the most beautiful bowl game that is played in all of college sports. I know that might be sacrilegious to some of you that are huge Rose Bowl fans, but the history, the legacy, everything that has happened here at the Sun Bowl is one of those just amazing, amazing historical games. We will go over some of the history here at the Sun Bowl. I'm just enamored right now by the way that Tony the Tiger is dancing. I got my guy Richie Davis. You want to get on here with me, Richie? Let's talk about some stuff. There it is. It's right here. There we go. Yeah. Let me get that out of the way. We'll move this over here so the people can see the cherubic face of Richie Davis.
The baby face.
The baby face. Richie, you are with the Sun Bowl Association. What is your role here with the Sun Bowl Association?
I am the media relations director of the Sun Bowl Association and the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. So I'm media relations throughout the year, but then I become more of an SID come December. Well, come today. Once we find out what two helmets are picked up, those are going to be the two programs I deal with and their communication staff. So that's what I'll be. That's my role, and my role is to make sure that the media is happy as well as the social media. Make sure the social media is up to date. Make sure everybody's informed, and basically I'm the liaison between the Sun Bowl Association and El Paso media.
So what is the season like, the college football season like for y'all as you're watching the ACC, as you're watching the Pac-12, obviously keeping track of all of the Pac-12 legacy teams that are out there as well? What is the season like for y'all as you're getting ready for, gearing up for this day?
So on the media relations end, I'm just making sure that everything is up to date regarding social media as well as any documentation we need in office. We have a football committee. They're in a room right now deciphering who's going to come to our game, who's going to come to El Paso on December 31st at noon on CBS. And those are the standings that I have to deal with. I'm making sure that their committee guides are up to date every week. They have weekly meetings, especially coming into the final stretch. So the past month and a half, they've been in a final stretch, and I've been keeping their documents up to date with everything that's happening, as well as social media. I've got an incredible group of interns: Karina Arana, Isabella Avila, Noah Sarabia, Aiden Wardy, and Gabriella Beard. They're just fantastic. So they're the ones kind of anything that you see on our social media at Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl on Instagram, at Sun Bowl Association on YouTube and Facebook, and Tony the Tiger SB on X or Twitter, whatever they call it these days. Those are my interns' work. They are a crack team of excellent people. They want to do this for a living. And so all credit to them when it comes to the graphic design, when it comes to making videos. Jacob Slaughter's our videographer, bar none the best. He's just any cinematic recaps you see of any of our events, not just the bowl games. That's all Jacob Slaughter, and he's badass. That's all I can say.
The entire group of people that are able to put on the Sun Bowl, from letting us know what's going on social media wise to all the stuff that's going on with it. You all are always putting in work. I appreciate just how awesome that y'all are doing. Now I want to be a little selfish and talk about something that you and I are fans of, that we have been long-term fans of. Reckham Tech, Texas Tech. Yes, you see me wearing my UTEP stuff. That's because I graduated from UTEP. My family is from Lubbock. We are die-hard Texas Tech fans, and I just enrolled to get my master's degree from Texas Tech. So I'm going to find my way of doing it. Add another thing to my plate, right? Why not? Why not? Let's do that. So our Texas Tech Red Raiders have been selected now to go to the Orange Bowl. How are we feeling about this? How are we feeling? Because they're going to get the winner between, I believe it's James Madison and Oregon. Texas Tech has got to get that team. How are we feeling about this?
So I'm always any team that I root for doesn't do well after a bye week. That's me, but I don't know. This team is different. This team is very different. We invested a lot of Cody Campbell's money into it. It's a lot. There's a Dusty Womble, legends in Lubbock. You build freaking statues of them in front of the stadium, for God's sakes.
You donate that much money, they should.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's going to be okay. I think, of course, I would have preferred the Cotton Bowl because it would have been another home game. As anyone who watched the Big 12 championship yesterday saw, it was pretty much 3/4, if anything, 7/8 Texas Tech, and you had the little blue bunch of BYU, and it was it was a mollywhopping, and I'm kind of glad it happened that way. So it's great on Texas Tech, but I want to talk about the Duke Blue Devils and what the hell they did yesterday, and talk about how they're shifting everything in the Sun Bowl's view, because now we were looking at SMU, we were looking at Clemson, we were looking at Duke themselves, and we were looking at Pitt. Now we're starting to say, Georgia Tech might be in the picture too. Of course, this is nothing confirmed. This is nothing insane. Notre Dame fell out of the college football playoff today. This is, like you said, you were talking to me earlier and saying, this is the fun cast. We're looking at the bracket right now. First team out is Notre Dame. Second team out, BYU. This is the fun chaos we love. Because although we have a little bit of a better picture, Arizona State, maybe Cal or Washington making a return on the Pac-12 side, it's just wide open on the ACC. So we don't know what's happening. We don't know what's happening. The football selection committee's in the back conference room. They will be doing the dirty work that we are glad that we're not doing because it's intense. I set foot in there earlier just to take some pictures. It's intense, dude.
I can imagine. Like I'm much happier being out here than being in any of those rooms having to deal with the chaos that Duke caused last night, getting that 27-20 win in overtime over Virginia Tech, a Duke team that went to the 7th tiebreaker to even get into the ACC championship game, using that 7th tiebreaker to get ahead of Miami. If it was Miami and Virginia, we might have had a little bit of a different story, but Duke now throwing us a bunch of curveballs. It's a ton of fun. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see what the selection committee says. What are the teams that you'd like to see here?
I mean, obviously, now that the ACC champions are Duke, I would love to see the ACC champions here. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Clemson here. Being a first-time Sun Bowl participant would be amazing. I would also love to see Pitt. I would also love to see NC State because they've been in our game before and they've shown what they can do in our game. And they're a quality team. Dave Doran is an amazing coach. So a lot of people here may not know a lot about the Wolfpack. And, they were announced earlier. Who wants to see the Wolfpack? Didn't get a lot of cheers.
Oh, so there was a person, I believe.
There's a person that clapped. And yes, it's a long way. It's a long way from Raleigh, but they're a quality team. So we've got a great group that we have right now, especially with only one ACC team being in the college football playoff, being the Miami Hurricane. But I would love to see Duke. I would love to see Clemson, or I would love to see Pitt. Pitt's my secondary team because, as you know, I'm a Steelers fan. I know that gets a lot of boos probably on this stream, and I'm sorry that
as it should,
in El Paso, Texas. Hey, at least we, more recent success than the Cowboys, but we won't go there.
Wow,
we won't go there.
I already apologize to them because I mentioned the Dallas Cowboys a little earlier. Someone made me talk about the Cowboys. We will stay as far away from that topic as possible.
It's an NFL Sunday, but today is also Selection Sunday.
Let's talk about good teams.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the good teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have those ACC teams. What about out of the Pac-12 and, of course, the Pac-12 legacy teams?
So you got Arizona, up there. Arizona's up there, and they got the win over Arizona State. So we're really looking at those two. Those are two that Bernie and I have been discussing, and I'm sure they're discussing in there as we speak. Cal is also in our picture. Who knows what's going to happen with Cal? They would also be first-time Sun Bowl participants. They've never been in our game before, and they would be a quality candidate. We're very blessed this year. Although it's chaotic, we're very blessed with an amazing array of teams.
So you weren't here a couple of years ago, or maybe you were. I just don't know what capacity maybe. But Florida State being left out, even though they were undefeated, Florida State being left out threw a wrench into everyone's thing, and we wind up getting Notre Dame here in El Paso. So that's how you know anything can happen. The Sun Bowl, obviously, like we said, 4 out of the last 5 Sun Bowls have been extremely competitive games. Last year's 1 point. A 1-point game. It was an absolute fun game between Washington and Louisville. I'm looking forward to this year's version of the Sun Bowl as well. Richie, I know you got a lot of stuff you got to do. I want to thank you so much, my guy. Finally get to meet you in person.
Yes, finally. I'm no longer just in your comment sections with Augustine.
Yeah, just making fun of me the entire time. not doing this anymore.
Okay, it's fun chaos. I love it. I'm very blessed by the grace of God, and this is just a great time. So great time to be a college football fan and a great time to be a Sun Bowl fan. Please tune in. Please remain tuned in. Momentarily at any time. I don't know. It's been a gauntlet. They've been on phone calls since 11:30. So
as long as we don't go back to 2023 like we did a couple of years ago, it took 4 hours to get that verdict of who we were ultimately going to get.
Exactly.
I know these people are tired of hearing my voice, and it's only been an hour.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing my voice.
Hey, no, you're an El Paso legend for a reason.
I don't know about that
Mike,
part.
Come on. Everybody loves the tip.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. Everyone appreciates the tip. Let's go back over to that camera. Y'all don't have to see my ugly mug anymore. Augustine laughing, saying, ha, 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 how about them Patriots? Let's see if we can bring it up. What's going on in the world of the NFL right now? Let's see if we could share the screen. Actually, I don't want to share the screen. Let's not do that. There's one final that happened on Thursday. We don't need to talk about that game right now. The Titans looking to get their second win of the season, currently have a 14-10 lead over the Cleveland Browns. The Seattle Seahawks currently trailing as the second quarter is coming to an end, trailing the Atlanta Falcons 6-3, but Seattle has the ball right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that I told everybody would be the winner of the AFC South and everybody's second favorite team on the tipping point with Mike Tipton and other associated shows. So if you're out here watching the show right now, de facto, your second favorite team has become the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't make the rules. I just enforce them. That's what's happening here. The Jaguars with a 21-10 lead over the Indianapolis Colts and Danny Dimes and them boys. The Bengals surprising everybody right now. The resurgence, they got Joe Burrow back. Maybe we see a different team here, but they are beating the Bills 21-11. The Vikings with a 14-0 lead at the half over the Washington Commanders. The Saints trail the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10-7, 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. The Ravens all over, or the Steelers rather, all over the Baltimore Ravens 17-3 with 5.5 to go there in the second quarter. Baltimore and the Dolphins with a 21-7 lead against the New York Jets, 3:19 to go in the second quarter there. Augustine saying Tipton is the Buzz Adams of talk radio. I think Buzz Adams does talk radio, though. I am wondering if I am going to have to do something here because my X stream seemingly died. Let me see. We can get that back up. We might just log off and then come back in a second or so. I will also say it always sounds weird whenever you say my X went down. No, we are good. We are still good on X. Thank you to everyone that is tuned in over there on X. Just in case the people who are new here, watching, seeing the comments, they heard Richie a little earlier mention it. Yes, the nickname for me is Tip. There we go. Back to where we need to be. My last name is Tipton. So, yes, Tip would be the nickname to go by here. We are currently waiting for any information to come through regarding the Sun Bowl. We have the selection committee in the back, as we alluded to earlier multiple times throughout today's brief broadcast. The Duke Blue Devils getting that win yesterday, winning the ACC, and Miami getting into the college football playoff is causing the delays here in the announcement of who is going to be in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. We have a bunch of teams that we can choose from. I mean, Richie reeled off 6 different teams that could be potential representatives of the ACC. Obviously, in the Pac-12, along with the Pac-12 legacy schools, is Arizona State, Arizona, and Washington. Washington and Louisville are both eligible to be in the Sun Bowl this year, despite the fact that they were in the Sun Bowl last season. Our guy, Augustine Pimentel, saying, what do you think about Max Verstappen winning in Abu Dhabi, but Lando Norris winning the championship? Sometimes, buddy, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I guess should say, am lucky that I even know the name Max Verstappen and Lando Norris. That is the extent of my Formula One knowledge. Oh, I know Lewis Hamilton as well. And don't get me wrong, it's not better if I try talking about NASCAR. Don't know much about NASCAR either. Is Jimmy Johnson still driving? Augustine saying, wow, look at that. I know, it was impressive, right? the ability that I have to be able to bring up the names of Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. I had to say it correct that time because I know someone out there would be like, it's not Verstappen, it's Verstappen. Although there ain't very much stopping when he's on the course, am I right? That was so dumb. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I said that. You all deserve better. Okay, so once again, I'm going to take me a little break. We've had a lot of fun talking over the last few minutes, hour plus that we've been doing this live at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino in Sunland Park, New Mexico, adjacent to El Paso. We are getting ready for the Sun Bowl Selection Committee to make their announcement. They should be making that announcement shortly, but of course, like we said, because of all the chaos caused yesterday in the ACC, that is what is causing a little bit of a delay. Before I leave, Augustine saying, no breaks, be a pro. When have I ever, in the decade that you've known me to do this stuff, when have I ever been a pro? I might wind up bringing Augustine on. Maybe he can talk to us about college football. We're not going to do that. We're not going to subject people to that. Currently right now in the Capital One Bowl Mania preview, which is on TV. Let's see if we can put this on there without getting shut down by ESPN. You have the Cheez-It Bowl. We'll zoom out so that way it doesn't look like that's all we're looking at. There we go. We'll kind of move it over to the side. This right here is an old broadcasting trick. Look at the crowd. There just happens to be a TV in there. In the Citrus Bowl, you have Michigan, the 18th ranked team in the country, taking on the University of Texas in the Cheez-It Bowl. I think I'm going to have to do one of my favorite things and try and figure out what is the first team or the longest name in the college football Let's see what we got. The early bowls. You have the Myrtle Beach Bowl, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, the Boca Raton Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, the Frisco Bowl, and the Hawaii Bowl. Those are early in December. December 31st, you have the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, which is a CFP quarterfinal game. The Orange Bowl, which is a CFP quarterfinal game. The Rose Bowl, CFP quarterfinal game. And the All-State Sugar Bowl, which is also a CFP quarterfinal game. You have the Armed Forces Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, the Holiday Bowl, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Both those are CFP semifinal games. And then the CFP National Championship on January 19th. That didn't give me a list of all the bowl games, though. I got to go over here and get my bowl game list. Augustine saying, send me the link. I believe you have the link. Let me see. Oh, no. This is going to be different. You don't have the link to this one. I don't have to do that. It's going to be a whole to-do to try to get it sent over to you. Not going to be able to do that right now, Augustine, because I've only got my laptop on me. I don't have the ability to use multiple things at this moment. My apologies. I should have known. I should have gotten you on here. Get the real sex appeal. You got quiet there because I had to get a drink. Whenever you talk as much as I do, you got to have a drink every now and again. Bourbon, the drink of choice today. Augustine said, yes, he tried the other link already. My apologies, Augustine. My apologies. Next time we can plan this out better. I would like to. I've been covering the Sun Bowl selection show over the last 3 years, I believe. The Notre Dame one was my very first one, so this will be my third one. And it always sneaks up on me. But I always get a great seat here. This is a beautiful seat, hanging out amongst the people. You can see What would be our estimate on how many people are here? I'd say about a little over 200, no? Yeah, a little close to 200 people here. As we are hanging out at the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl selection show. Augustine is asking, have I tried the new Dr. Pepper Blackberry? Oh my gosh, I have not. I have not tried it yet. It does not appeal to me though. Like I do like blackberries, but I just like regular basic Dr. Pepper. I think I tried like the Dr. Pepper cherry. It was okay. I tried the Dr. Pepper vanilla. That was grotesque. And then I think I tried like some natural sugar Dr. Pepper once on the tipping point, and it was like pulsating through my body. So I never did that again. I've learned to not make the same mistake twice. If you've tuned in and you're wondering why the hell is this guy just talking and rambling on, why hasn't he told us who's going to be participating in the 92nd Sun Bowl game? Who's going to be representing the ACC? Who's going to be representing the Pac-12 or the Pac-12 legacy teams that are out there? Why has this guy not told us that yet? That's because this guy doesn't have that information yet. As soon as that information is made, we will let you know. Augustine says that he is drinking the blackberry as we speak, and it's, oh my gosh. I did it again so I could make the beat drop. Nobody here needs to hear me singing, despite the fact that I am the songbird of our generation. Why isn't Augustine on the show? That's what we're asking. Okay, let me see if we can do this, Augustine. But if you come on here, Augustine, we have a large audience hanging out with us. We've got everyone over on X. Quiet there over on X for some strange reason. Not used to how quiet it is. Okay. Whew. I think I'm just going to have to leave it here in order for it to pick up, because I tried listening to it whenever he was talking and it just kept giving me like feedback. You can't hear me at all? Like right here? Okay, never mind. That's because I'm trying not to talk so loud because I'm on air. Yes, Augustine, I know you can hear me. I'm trying. That's the beauty of doing a live show on location. Maybe we're gonna have to find. Next year I'm gonna invest a little bit, get some different camera angles. Maybe we get a drone, doing some things like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Still waiting to hear from the Sun Bowl selection committee. As we heard from Augustine, he'd like to see Duke, Wake Forest, NC State. Oh, no, not Duke. You said your client was not a fan of Duke. If I'm not mistaken, the word was hates Duke. What did Duke do to them to warrant all this hate? going to look up and see if we have any additional teams that have been selected. This is going to be very interesting if Duke caused that much of an issue for other teams. I believe the only bowl that we have so far outside of the playoff games is Citrus Bowl. And Michigan. Augustine saying, shout out to Tommy Garnett, CEO of Garnett Component Sales in North Carolina. He is a good guy. I got a lot of, like I said, just being stationed in North Carolina for the better part of 3 years. Got a lot of good friends over there. I got some friends that are Duke fans. I have some friends that are NC State fans, UNC fans. I don't know if I know anyone that's really a Wake Forest fan, but I think I'd like, just the odds are that I have to. UNC not good enough to make it this year to the Sun Bowl. Only 4-8 on the season. Once again, going over the standings in the ACC. Duke, the number one team in the ACC. After beating Virginia yesterday, Duke 8-5 on the season. Virginia 10-3 in the second place spot. The third place team in the ACC is Miami, which is 10-2. Miami representing the ACC in the college football playoff. The number fourth place team for the Sun Bowl begins its selection process. And again, none of these numbers mean that there isn't a shot that we get Duke. We can still possibly potentially get Duke, depending on if the bowls that are picking ahead of the Sun Bowl allow Duke to slide down to the Sun Bowl. And of course, if Duke is the best team remaining out of the ACC teams that are possible for the Sun Bowl, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl to get. But as of right now, the fourth place team in the ACC is Pittsburgh. At number 5, SMU. Number 6, Georgia Tech. Number 7, California. Number 8, Clemson. Then, of course, you have NC State, Louisville, Wake Forest, all those teams on the outside looking in. NC State, Louisville, and Wake Forest. There is the possibility that they can wind up coming to the Sun Bowl. Clemson, as we said, would be a first-time matchup. So there is the possibility, because we have to remember, even though Cal is in the ACC this year, Cal is also a legacy team of the Pac-12. So you do have the possibility of getting two teams in the Sun Bowl that had never played in the Sun Bowl previously, in Cal and in Clemson, which to me would be fun. Like making history at the second oldest bowl game would be a cool little happening for us to be able to get. Had some fantasy football alerts right there. We did recap earlier the current NFL slate that we have going on right now. We are now playing the waiting game, and I'm looking around, watching all of the various media outlets here in El Paso, hanging out, cameras up, ready to go. All of them sitting at a table, talking, having a great conversation, while I have the best seat in the house talking with all of y'all, having myself a good old time. Some people would say the best of times. I know I would. Oh, I had someone go up on the stage. I thought something exciting was about to happen, but apparently he was just doing the photo op. The silence is golden. More photo ops happening up on the stage right now as we are waiting to hear what will happen. Who will be selected in the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game? I am not too sure what that question is in reference to, Augustine, and I am terrified to ask. All right, I was just checking something out here. Apparently, I've got a faulty. This one is bad. Gonna have to check that out. Gonna have to get my board fixed on one of the things. I was wondering why I was getting so much feedback. That's what I was doing right here, troubleshooting, making sure we've got everything working as best we can, while we try to bring you some information on the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Wise OG asking, not team related, LOL, but curious if you know the answer. Does the Sun Bowl court not have to be from El Paso? I thought I heard one say she was from Georgia. If I am not mistaken, they are from El Paso. However, they are attending school in other areas. So in the past, we have had people from Georgia, Kentucky, going to Texas Tech, going to UT Austin, things of that nature. But I believe they all have ties to the city of El Paso. So despite the fact that they are going to school somewhere else, they still have the connection to the city of El Paso. So we got that working for us. Along with that, I got one of my other microphones working for us. So that's a good thing. We'll be able to hear the announcement, hopefully. Nice and crystal clear. At least we'll try our best to do so. Would you mind taking it back over to the stage? Thank you. We are currently waiting to see who will be selected. Current college football matchups that we have elsewhere. In the CFP, I will bring this up here.
Hello, everybody. Just want to remind you the football committee is still in the back room. We're still discussing potential matchups here. The 92nd annual Sun Bowl game presented by Kellogg's and Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. I want to let you know about some of the events we have coming up. Once again, my name is Bo Beckley, Vice President of Marketing for the Sun Bowl Board of Directors. I want to remind you some of the events we have coming up. It's an exciting month of December. We have on Sunday, December 21st, is our Sun Bowl basketball skills camp. That will be 9 a.m. to noon at Cathedral High School. Wayne Thornton, if anybody has any questions, Wayne Thornton, I saw you walking around. If you can, he's right over here in a beautiful New Orleans Saints jacket. If you have any questions regarding the Sun Bowl basketball skills camp, please find Wayne Thornton. Also want to remind you, our Westar Bank Don Haskins Sun Bowl Invitational will take place Sunday, December 21st and Monday, December 22nd. Of course, that will be at UTEP's Don Haskins Center. That's going to be a fun one. For over 60 years, the annual Westar Bank Don Haskins Sun Bowl Basketball Invitational is the oldest holiday collegiate basketball tournament in the country. And it's excited fans who created memorable experiences for competing athletes and fans for years. I want to remind you, tickets are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Eisenberg Family Ticket Office on the campus of UTEP. Remember dates and times. Both nights, December 21st and 22nd, tip-offs will be at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. And this will be, of course, your UTEP Miners. Spartans, North Dakota State Bison, and the UC Irvine Anteaters. It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, December 21st and 22nd at UTEP's Don Haskins Center. I want to remind you, our kickoff party will be Friday, December 26th over at Top Golf. Should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, our Sun Bowl Fan Fiesta, presented by Destination El Paso, will be at, in El Paso Live, will be at the El Paso Convention Center. That will be Tuesday, December 30th, the El Paso Convention Center. It's presented by El Paso Live. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Fan Fiesta is a free, family-friendly event open to the public. Hosted a day before our Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game, the Fan Fiesta features musical performances by local bands, university pep rallies, and a battle of the university bands. That's always a highlight of the pre-bowl game festivities of Battle of the Bands. Once again, that'll be December 30th, Tuesday, 4 o'clock. It starts at the El Paso Convention Center. Once again, we're waiting for the Sun Bowl Football Committee to announce our teams. I know there's a lot of nervous and anxiety and anxious excitement, but we'll have that announcement soon. Thank you.
As you heard from El Paso legend Bo Bagley right there, the list of events that are, wow, Augustine, that's mean. What a mean thing to say. The list of events that we have here at the Sun Bowl Let me see if I can get that up. I got you, Augustine. I got you. All right. So the list of events that we have coming up, obviously today is Selection Sunday. Then we have the Sun Bowl Basketball Skills Camp that is happening at Cathedral High School on December 21st, 2025. Then, of course, the West Star Don Haskins Sun Bowl Invitational happening December 21st through December 22nd. That's always a great, fun bowl game or basketball tournament to be a part of. Then, of course, we have the Top Golf Kickoff Party on December 26th for the Sun Bowl committee as well. Then the Sun Bowl Cheer Camp happening on Tuesday, December 30th, 2025. The Sun Bowl Fan Fiesta presented by El Paso Live also on Tuesday, December 30th. The Butterfield Trail Sun Bowl Fan Golf Challenge that I just missed out on this year sells out quick, so you got to make sure you are there at Butterfield Trail Golf Club, rather. That is going to be on Tuesday, December 30th. Then, of course, you have the Sun Bowl pregame fan party presented by El Paso Live, or by Visit El Paso, on Wednesday, December 31st at Glory Field, right across from the beautiful Sun Bowl Stadium. And then, of course, also on December 31st, the 92nd annual Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game at high noon, Wednesday, December 31st. So a whole list of events that we have going on celebrating our beautiful Sun Bowl game. I am looking at the TVs, looking at all the things, all the different standings, things like that might be going on right now. Augustine's saying too many festivities. Come on, we have jobs, people. LOL. Take a little bit of time off from your job. I know I will. Augustine hating on what it is that I'm doing. What's all this dead air? Not dead air. There's background noise. There's things happening. You know? I'm trying to do research. I'm looking for an image that I can actually put on air for the college football bracket instead of just telling y'all about it. No, that's not what I want to do. Yes, it is tip air. See if it'll actually allow us to do that. There it is. So there, as you see, is the college football bracket, the college football playoff bracket. James Bencomo asking, what time are they announcing the teams coming to El Paso? James, they are currently in the back here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. They are deliberating with the other ACC bowl games on who is going to be representing the ACC in the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Just a quick recap for everybody. Yesterday, Duke wins the ACC championship. Today, Miami beats out Notre Dame. Notre Dame was in front of Miami in the rankings for the last 5 weeks. Notre Dame not in the college football playoff, so that pushes the Irish out of the college football playoff, and now it kind of moves a bunch of stuff over, moving teams down, moving teams around, doing all those types of things. So there is the possibility that we get in El Paso the ACC champion Duke Blue Devils because of the chaos that Duke caused due to all the tiebreakers and things like that are happening. So because of the availability of Notre Dame, who is obviously, along with Miami, two of the top tier upper echelon schools that you can bring to your bowl game, because now Miami is floating, or Notre Dame rather, is out there floating around as a possibility for other bowls. That means other teams are becoming available to us. The Georgia Techs, who are a 9-win team. Then, of course, you have the possibility of getting Clemson, who has never participated in the Sun Bowl previously. So now a whole bunch of things have moved. There are a bunch of dominoes that have fallen. If you remember, just 2 years ago, the ACC finds itself in another intriguing, happenstance, right? Like this happened to the Florida State Seminoles just 2 years ago. Whenever Florida State goes undefeated, they lose their star quarterback, and they keep moving a bunch of people or a bunch of teams down. And then ultimately for the Sun Bowl, that's how we got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish in 2023. There's a bunch of weird things happening, and you can see, because I have the graphic right here on the screen, Miami is in, despite the fact that they are number 3 in the ACC. So the ACC champion, not in the college football playoff because it's an 8-win, 5-loss Duke team. If the committee had put Duke in the college football playoff, that would have just caused all kinds of havoc. James saying it sounds like difficult decisions are being made today for the Sun Bowl. That is 100% correct. The Sun Bowl committee, of course, they work in tandem with 5 other bowl games. I'll bring the list up here for us because it is the Pop-Tart Bowl, the Tax Slayer Bowl, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, the Bad Boy Mowers Bowl, and the Duke's Mayo Bowl, along with the Sun Bowl. Those are the top 5 teams that get to choose in different groups on who's going to be able to go where, right? So if you are the DirecTV Holiday Bowl and Notre Dame is available, you want Notre Dame. As the same thing with like the Pop-Tart Bowl. If Notre Dame's available, you want Notre Dame. Obviously, Virginia is going to be hot on that list. Then, of course, you have Duke. Duke wins the ACC, right? Like you think that might be fun. I believe the Pop-Tarts Bowl is in Charlotte, so that would basically be a home game for the Duke Blue Devils. So you have these other teams that are selecting, or these other bowls that are selecting their participants. My prediction for the Sun Bowl is that I believe that we will wind up getting Arizona State, who is a Pac-12 legacy school. They will be obviously in the Big 12, but they will be representing the Pac-12 because of all the school movement and things like that have happened previously in the past. So I believe it's going to be Arizona State. And I was kind of leaning towards Pitt, but now I think we're going to lean more towards Georgia Tech. I do think that there is a scenario out here where you can wind up having 2 ACC teams play in the Sun Bowl, which would be fun because it'll be the first time that either one of these teams are actually competing in the Sun Bowl, which would be Clemson, who is an ACC, longtime ACC team, and then, of course, Cal, who is a Pac-12 legacy team. They are still available to be selected by the Sun Bowl selection committee. So that's just kind of the stuff that they're working out here. That's a bunch of decisions that are being made. If you were here like I was just a couple of years ago while we were waiting for the Notre Dame selection, it took about 4 hours. I am not thinking that it's going to last that long today, but if it does last that long, I'm into this thing in a couple hours because I got this thing called a life, and I like to live it. So hopefully they will be making their selection soon here. Alfonso Holguin saying Leonardo DiCaprio will be in Michael Mann's film Heat 2. Comments. I am arguably the worst person that you can ask about that because I haven't seen Heat 1, which I'm assuming is just Heat. And I don't know anything about it. I know Leonardo DiCaprio is an amazing actor, so I think that would be fantastic. But I am, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst person with knowledge of any movies at all that are not Fast and Furious movies. If it's Fast and Furious, I got you all day, baby. If it's not Fast and Furious, well, that just means you don't live your life a quarter mile at a time, and I don't want to be friends with you. Augustine saying, no, you don't. Don't lie, LOL. Augustine, I don't know what that pertains to. I've been saying a lot of words. Oh, talking about a life, that I have a life, and I want to go live it. I do have a life. Got my kids here, my wife here. We're at the casino. It's a great place to bring kids. Obviously, we're not in the casino proper. They have like the banquet area. This is where we are. Don't judge me being like, oh, this guy taking his kids to casinos. Why is OG saying, oh, really? Is it a prequel? I don't know. I don't know anything about Heat. James Bencomo asking, when is Sunland Park Racetrack open for horse racing? I don't know that off the top of my head, but let's look it up. Let's see what we got. They've got new slots, and they're open 7 days a week. At least that's what they're telling me right now. Racing at Sunland Park. Let's click on that link right now. I apologize. The internet here seems to be rather spotty. We'll wait for the racing news page to prop up. Yeah, let's let that thing load. While it's loading, we'll figure this out. I'm not a big horse racing fan. I think I've seen like one horse race maybe, like here at Sunland Park. I have been here at the casino a few times. Having some good memories at the casino. That means I actually won some money. The random times I win because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan and my team loses and disappoints me all the time. I hate that I love them. Ashley saying, Tip, I got to get a movie list to watch, LOL. We've talked about it, but I'm going to send it. I mean, I'm down. Brandon the Iceman Cone gave me a list of movies to watch and said that My Cousin Vinny would change my life. I don't know when or what it was in that movie that changed Brandon the Iceman Cone's life. Maybe it's Marissa Tomei, right? Like, maybe Brandon was going through the change that every boy goes through and saw Marissa Tomei and was like, hey, this is life-altering. But, like, I'm thinking about that movie, like, wasn't even wearing anything really provocative throughout the movie. I guess there was, like, a lot of, like, leopard print, but it was, like, long dresses and stuff like that, at least from what I remember. It was an okay movie. I'm trying to think of the other movie that I watched on the recommendation of Brandon the Iceman Cone. Augustine saying, My Cousin Vinny is one of the worst movies ever. It's not that good. It was okay. It was all right. I don't believe like the whole. I mean, I've been through Alabama, so I can picture people just getting arrested. Augustine says he was going to say something really bad. LOL. Ah, there you go. Alfonso Holguin saying she wore tight skirts in some scenes. I guess so, right? Like I mean, maybe. What was the other movie that Brandon had me watch? Huh? Other than My Cousin Vinny. Like, we watched two of them on his recommendation. And I send way too many text messages to him to, like, look back through it. I'll have to think about it. Oh yeah, my big fat Greek wedding. That was all right. It was okay. It's no Fast and Furious, I'll tell you that much. It's no Gone in 60 Seconds, I'll tell you that much. Apparently I just like car movies. It's no Cars. I'll tell you that much. I'm trying to think of like another car movie. I don't think I could think of one. Christine. Yeah. I get that's technically a car movie, right? It has to be a car movie. Maybe Alfonso Holguin. You asked about Leonardo DiCaprio being in Heat 2. What are your thoughts on Heat 2 and Leonardo DiCaprio being in it? Like I said, I mean, I love like Wolf of Wall Street. I loved Gatsby. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio's done a bad movie. At least I can't think of one. I haven't seen The Revenant yet, but I've been wanting to watch that one. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Spoilers, I guess. But like every movie I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio in, he's done a phenomenal job. He's one of the best actors of all time. I think we can all agree on that. There was enough space for him on that door. Rose is just selfish. I think we can all agree on that one as well. James Bencomo saying last year's Sun Bowl game was an exciting game, one of the best played at the Sun Bowl. Yes, it was. For those that don't remember, it was a 1-point game. And Washington lost to Louisville. Louisville scores at the very end. Washington gets a touchdown. And instead of going for the tie, they went for the win, which is something that I love, but I also hate. I'm on the fence with a lot of these things. They go for 2, and they just don't get it. But I love, like you've got to have some moxie. I was going to say something else, but we have a different audience here. I don't know how professional I should be. But they had some moxie to go for it on 2 there, and that's what you want to see. It was such an exciting game. Both teams just were unstoppable. The year before was a blowout, Notre Dame beating Oregon State. But like I said, 4 out of the last 5 Sun Bowls have been one-possession games, and that means that the Sun Bowl Selection Committee is doing a great job on getting teams that are going to be competitive in here for the Sun Bowl. Augustine saying that he moved from Facebook over to YouTube. Ashley saying that one is a classic. LOL. His list is questionable. I mean, I know he gave me like a bunch of other movies to watch, but after I watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, I was like, okay, like I see a theme that Brandon is going on, and I don't know if I want to follow him down this road, because I believe it was the summer of 2024, and this is going to be mind-blowing to some people out there. I had never seen like Star Wars. I had never seen Indiana Jones. So I made it a point of mine, like Breakfast Club, like those coming-of-age movies from the 80s. So I made it a point of mine to actually watch some of these movies over the summer. And again, each time I try to watch Star Wars, I think I even took like an energy drink the day that I watched Star Wars, and I fell asleep twice. Like it's just something about that movie. I will never make it through that full movie. It was the first one, the one from like way back in the 70s. I was told that one was bad or like slow, questionable, any of that stuff. Maybe the second one will be better. But then I started watching the Harry Potter series with my kids. They really liked it. I thought it was an entertaining movie as well. Watched Indiana Jones, watched Breakfast Club. I know there was another coming-of-age movie from the 80s that I watched as well.
Once again, welcome to the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Selection Show. I hear we're getting close, so just wanted to let you all know we're getting close. You will see if you're on social media, some of the lower bowls below the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Those teams have been selected, but right now we're jockeying for position with some of the higher seeded teams in the conferences. So once again, want to let you know the Sun Bowl West Star Bank Sun Bowl basketball tournament. It will be the 20th and 21st at Sunday and Monday, December 20th and 21st. Tickets are available at UTEP's Eisenberg ticket office. Going to be a lot of fun with, of course, your UTEP Miners taking on UC Irvine, North Dakota State, and North Texas. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, want to remind you that the football committee is in the back. We'll have a selection here shortly. We are getting close. We're just figuring out that final team, and we'll have the selection here shortly. Thank you.
That, of course, Bo Bagley keeping us up to date on everything that's going on here with the Sun Bowl selection show that's going on. He had mentioned some of those lower bowl teams or games under the Sun Bowl have already found some of their selections. So let's see what we can get here. What games have already been selected? I was looking at that article. That article didn't really give me anything. Maybe I'll have to go up to it. It'll be a live article that's getting updated as we speak. Reading on camera, always one of my strong suits. Here, we'll put the camera back on me so it's just not on an empty stage. That way y'all can see me struggling to read. I went to the Derek Zoolander School for kids who can't read good. Come on. Sports Illustrated trying to get me to buy a Sports Illustrated subscription. Who actually does that? Like, who's the person that still gets Sports Illustrated delivered to their home? You've got to be just an unrelenting nerd if you do that. Come on now. What are these other bowls at? I need bowls. I'm going to be watching ESPN to see if I can see any other bowls that are already announced. Scrolling. James Bencomo saying, depending on who is being selected today, I'll decide to go. I hope it's a competitive. I hope it will be competitive teams that will come this year. Is there a lot of tickets available? I don't know about the amount of tickets that are available, but I do know, once again, just based off of history, 9 out of the last 10 Sun Bowls, and if I'm not mistaken, it's somewhere around the lines of like 25 out of the last 30 have been sold out or near sold out. Now, what that means by near sold out is that the Sun Bowl holds over 52,000 people, so a near sellout is 50,000 plus, right? So I would not wait, and honestly, James, I would come. Like, it doesn't matter who the teams are. It's always just such a great game to go to. The atmosphere is always fun. Weather, we have had some weather in recent ones. I believe the last time Duke was here, it snowed. So if Duke comes again, maybe it'll snow that time as well. Augustine making fun of Bo Bagley. That's just mean. Heat 2 will be a prequel and sequel all in one. Christian Bale is also in talks to be in Heat 2. Is Heat, now I guess referred to as Heat 1, is it worth watching? Like should I put it on my list of movies that I should watch? Augustine saying the Bills don't want to win, and cereal bowls are amazing. They are. Let's check in on our NFL games. What's happening in the National Football League? Who's doing what? Who's losing? Who's not losing? As we know, going back to Thursday, the Dallas Cowboys got stomped 44-30. Hopefully, if the Philadelphia Eagles can win, I believe tonight or Monday night, that's a Monday night game. If the Philadelphia Eagles can win, then that kills all hope of the Dallas Cowboys winning the division and possibly making the playoffs. Because I believe the only way the Cowboys can make the playoffs is if they win the division. So if the Eagles win, the Dallas Cowboys' hopes done with. I can be a happy man. But if the Eagles lose, it means the door's open for the Dallas Cowboys, and they'll find some way to disappoint me because they are the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what they do. The D in Dallas stands for disappointment, just like I am to my parents. The Tennessee Titans currently losing to the Cleveland Browns 17-14, but they have the ball, 7:45 to go. in the third quarter. The Atlanta Seahawks, who were down going right at the half, have just come back and started pummeling the Atlanta Falcons 23-6 at the end of the third quarter. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Daniel Jones, out of the game right now and out for the rest of the game, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars 28-13. The Washington Commanders just getting absolutely dominated by the Minnesota Vikings. 9 and them boys, 24-0. The Commanders are a bad football team. The Cincinnati Bengals at the end of the third quarter with the lead over the Buffalo Bills, 21-18. Buffalo trying to make a comeback of it. The New Orleans Saints trail the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 17-14 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter there. The Steelers allowing the Ravens to come back. Remember, the Steelers had themselves a rather large lead in the second quarter, 20-16 over the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, 6:11 to go in the third quarter. And the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets in the game that absolutely nobody cares about. The Dolphins lead 24-7. Later, the Broncos and the Raiders, the Rams and the Cardinals, the Bears and the Packers, which should be a very fun game.
But I do want to let you know someone dropped a pair of glasses.
Okay, that's not something that I necessarily care about.
But we'll get to that in just a moment. Once again, if you realize you dropped your glasses, black rimmed glasses are up here. Look like reading glasses up here by the stage. Thank you.
Somebody lost their glasses, and I am a firm believer that you have to be of a certain age to not realize you don't have your glasses on. I am blind, and I know when I don't have my glasses on. Oh my goodness, there were a lot of comments while I was gone. Okay. August is saying Heat is okay. Yeah, Heat 1995 is required viewing, is what Alfonso Holguin is saying as well. Ashley agreeing with that sentiment, saying yes, it's Al Pacino and Bobby De Niro. Ashley also going on to let us know that Jamar Chase is doing absolutely nothing for her fantasy football team. James Bencomo saying the Steelers and the Ravens game is close. Steelers 20, Baltimore 16. And then Augustine saying the Sun Bowl will be Arizona State versus Virginia Tech. Well, Virginia Tech is not eligible to be in the Sun Bowl, so that will not happen. Maybe Arizona State, and I believe there should be. And before you start on Arizona State, you have to realize the number 4 team in the country right now is Texas Tech. They are 11-1, and the one team they lost to was Arizona State. So Arizona State being in might be a pretty good thing. Augustine, I just saw your text right now. Yeah, it's a little mean. I would say that was a little mean. I'm glad you did not put that comment out there, Augustine. That's enough of my mug. No one needs to see my mug. We'll put it back on the stage right now for now. Locally sourced El Paso, our guy Ray Jackson saying UTEP versus Arizona State, ? Haha. JK, hope all is well, sir. All is going great for me. Be sure to check out Ray's podcast, Locally Sourced El Paso. Get all of your information on the happenings, the things that are going on in the city of El Paso from over there, Locally Sourced El Paso with Ray Jackson. I believe it was 1967 was the last time the UTEP Miners played in the Sun Bowl. So there is a history of UTEP playing in the Sun Bowl. I'm going to look this up. Now it's up to me to give everybody a history lesson in the Sun Bowl. I did see something the other day. If I can just take a tangent here, it's going alongside the ACC college football thing. It's about college basketball. Of the worst teams that college basketball teams had lost games to. And apparently in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, through the 50s, college basketball teams would have to play college basketball games or basketball games against certain types of businesses. So the University of North Carolina, UNC, the school that Jordan went to, actually lost a basketball game to Hilton Hotels. And it makes me wonder just how bad that college basketball team had to be to lose to a bunch of hotels. I got to look that up. That'll be something I do on my regular show. The very first Sun Bowl played January 1st, 1935. The El Paso All-Stars beat Ranger, Texas, 25-21. 3,000 were in attendance that day. Typical UTEP game for that one. The last time the University of Texas at El Paso played in the Sun Bowl, I'll be surprised if I'm actually correct about this. It was 1967. The last time UTEP played in the Sun Bowl was December 30th, 1967. UTEP beat Ole Miss 14-7. Coincidentally, that was also the last time the University of Texas at El Paso won a bowl game. So at least it was a home game that they won. Augustine saying that he meant Pittsburgh is who he thought would be here, not Virginia Tech. I can see that. Like they're spelled very similarly. Once again, let's look at the college football playoff. Right now, the 8-9 matchup will be between Oklahoma and Alabama. Earlier this year, Oklahoma beat Alabama. One of Alabama's 3 losses. Remember, Alabama, the 9th-ranked team here in the CFP, a 3-loss team. Question mark as to whether Alabama should Alabama be in over Notre Dame? Not something that I would do, but I'm just some guy. The 5-12 matchup, Oregon versus James Madison University. Yes, the football powerhouse known as James Madison University. A group of 5 team. Then you have Ole Miss versus the Tulane Green Wave. Last Saturday on Fire and Ice as we were live over at Buffalo Wild Wings, you saw that we found the logo of the Green Wave is just a green blob. Should Tulane and JMU be in the college football playoff over Notre Dame? That is the question of the day. I don't believe so. I apologize to the millions and millions of Tulane Green Wave and James Madison Dukes fans that are out there, but I don't believe that group of 5 teams belong in the college football playoff. I just don't. They are going to get mollywopped. I don't use that word lightly. I don't think I've ever used the word mollywopped in my entire life, now that I'm thinking about it. Then, of course, you have Texas A&M taking on number 10 Miami. Miami getting in, representing the ACC in the college football playoff because even though they are the 3rd place team in the ACC, because they didn't make it to the ACC championship game because of the 7th tiebreaker to get Duke into the ACC championship game, Miami will represent the ACC in the college football playoff. That is where the issues lie right now with what's going on with the Sun Bowl Selection Committee. So just to recap, because it's been a couple hours that we've been on air now. Duke winning the ACC championship yesterday threw a wrench into a bunch of things that were happening with the ACC. There was the possibility that if Virginia had won, that Notre Dame would wind up being the team in. Miami would more than likely be the first team out, which is what Notre Dame is at this moment, Notre Dame being the first team out. Duke wins. That moves Virginia down. That moves Miami down to the 3rd place team. That makes Miami being in the college football playoff now makes Notre Dame one of the teams that's available to be selected in the ACC games that And that's more than likely what's being fought over right now. If we're talking about the major ACC teams right now, they're more than likely those bowls are fighting over who's going to get Notre Dame, because there was, archaic as it may be, a rule up until last year, because I didn't think it was going to be something we saw this year, that if you played in a bowl the year previously, you were not eligible to play in that bowl. As we see by having the helmets of Washington and Louisville on the stage here at the Sun Bowl Selection Show, that rule must have just gone away. Just evaporated, vanished, poof, gone. So now Notre Dame being available to a bunch of other lower tier bowls and not the college football playoff bowls means other schools are going to be pushed down. This is very reminiscent of what happened just 2 years ago whenever we were able to get Notre Dame here at the Sun Bowl in 2023. An undefeated Florida State team was left on the outside looking in of the 4-team playoff at the time. And that pushed all of the ACC teams down a little bit of a notch. Ultimately, Florida State protested all that stuff, and that could be something that's going on right now as well. There's so much that goes on in the back rooms. Like, if I'm Notre Dame right now, I am beside myself upset that you would put in a James Madison or a Tulane over a school like Notre Dame. Well, like, in no scenario should this ever happen. Because, yes, college football is, and all sports are, and I hope I'm not the person breaking news to people, but all sports are an entertainment value. College football viewership would be better served having Notre Dame in the college football playoff over JMU. And you can be like, oh, Tip, JMU is this school that has 1 loss and Notre Dame has 2 losses. Who on God's green earth did JMU play? I would love for anybody to tell me that without looking it up, because I watched James Madison play yesterday, and I know who they beat to win their championship. And that was not an impressive game at all. It just wasn't. The College Football Playoff Committee has gotten this wrong time and time and time again, whether we were at 4 teams, whether we were at 12 teams, whether we expand to 16 like some people are talking about as well, no matter what it is. I had mentioned this previously. My fix for the whole thing would be, let's just have a 25-team playoff. The first 3 or 4 seeds will get a bye week, much like they're doing right now, and you just get the top 25. If you're not good enough to be in the top 25, you don't get a voice. End of discussion. You don't need to be complaining about it. And then you can have all of the lower tier bowls, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the Sun Bowl, all of us second tier bowls, have a long-term storyline that goes with them that'll get viewership just based off of the fact that they are associated with the college football playoff. You make these elimination games. You make these fun games like that, and that is ultimately what is going to be what sells. But again, I'm just some dude. What do I know? Other than the fact that James Madison and Tulane do not belong in the college football playoff. I have no problem saying that. They do not belong. They just don't. I feel bad if there's like a random person who's like a James Madison fan being like, oh man, I bet like this guy's probably saying something nice about James Madison, and I just come on here and just dumped all over him. We are still waiting for the Sun Bowl Selection Committee to let us know what is going on. Oh, here we go. I was asked by James Bencomo if Vanderbilt got a bowl game. Yes, they did. I'm looking up all of the different bowls that are here right now. The one that I'm seeing is that the ReliaQuest Bowl is going to be between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Vanderbilt Commodores. That is going to be at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. The ReliaQuest Bowl. Let's see if maybe this here will give me some bowls that have been selected, because that's what I am ultimately looking for right now. I love the first headline right here is Irish eyes are not smiling after college football playoff snub. The reason why Miami got in over Notre Dame, despite the fact that Miami and Notre Dame have the exact same record, is that Miami owns the head-to-head, which is frustrating if you're a Miami fan, because over the last 5 weeks, Miami was ranked behind Notre Dame. And I guess it's also frustrating if you're a Notre Dame fan, right? Like Miami fans and Notre Dame fans just have to be, this roller coaster they've been on over the last couple of weeks has to just be annoying, because the College Football Playoff Committee said, okay, the reason why we have Notre Dame ranked ahead of Miami for the last 5 weeks is because Notre Dame has better quality losses. You have to remember, Notre Dame's losses are to 2 top 10 teams. It was to the number 2 team at the time, which was Miami, and then the number 4 or 5 team at the time, which was Texas A&M. Juxtaposed to Miami's losses, which are to a lower-ranked SMU team, which was 24th, I believe, at the time, and to, at the time, what was an unranked Louisville team. Louisville was kind of on the fringes, I think being ranked as high as 20 at one point. So you compare those quality losses, right? And that's what the College Football Playoff Committee was telling everybody over the last 5 weeks. The head-to-head matchup between Miami and Notre Dame did not matter because Notre Dame had the better quality losses. And then we fast forward to today, where they say, okay, because BYU lost to Texas Tech yesterday, and if you remember, Notre Dame was number 10, BYU was number 11, and Miami was number 12. Because of the loss to Texas Tech, BYU gets pushed out, moved down a spot. Now we put Miami and Notre Dame right next to each other. And instead of going with quality losses, which is what was said over the last 5 weeks, it becomes the head-to-head. Miami won the head-to-head, so now we have to put Miami in over Notre Dame. Absolutely ridiculous, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And of course, yes, the head-to-head matchup should matter. What shouldn't matter are teams like Tulane and James Madison. Just saying that right now. I've apparently, in the last 2 hours and 17 minutes, become someone that hates James Madison University and Tulane, their existence. But it's not necessarily that. It's just the fact that they're going to go into Oregon, they're going to go into Ole Miss, and they're going to get rocked. And it's just not fun to watch things like that happen. Oh, another issue that has come up is that the Big 12 has 2 teams, Iowa State and Kansas State, who are opting out, voluntarily opting out of going to any of the bowl games. They have just been fined by the Big 12 $500,000 each, which is a drop in the bucket whenever you look at NIL deals. But that could be throwing curveballs for eligible bowls, eligible schools, things of that nature. So now you see all the chaos that has been caused because Duke won a game. It's all because of Duke. This is happening. Let's see if we can get another drink. It is currently 1:32. We are still 1:32 Mountain Time. We are still waiting to see what's going to be happening here with the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. But I'll say this: we still have a decent crowd here as we zoom out and move around and show a little bit of the crowd holding steadfast, waiting to see who is going to be in the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Halfway decent crowd. A great view here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino.
Got you with another update. Well, it's just there's really no update.
All right, yeah. We got Richie here with us. You want to get on here?
Yeah,
Where did my other headset go? There it is. I was about to say, my goodness. I'm trying to look things up. Let's see if we can get ourselves back in the camera over here. I had to show the people my beautiful smiling face. All right, so we got Richie Davis hanging out with us right now. He says he's got a little bit of an update for us. Richie, what you got?
Well, you could call it an update. It's basically a stalemate in the ACC. They're just there's one big conference call right now, and they're on hold, just waiting for an answer. There was a deal. I can't really say. There was a deal that was trying to be made between us and another bowl game, and it was rejected. So we're in another stalemate. Yeah. So just hang tight, guys. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. There's a lot of great teams on the table. Great teams on the table.
And that's what I was going to say. I think it comes down to the fact that, like, there are quality teams now. Like, Miami being put into the college football playoff. Like, obviously, Miami's a good team.
Yeah.
But now you got, like, Notre Dame floating out there. And then, so, like, Notre Dame, obviously, the big-name team. A lot of the bowls are going to try to find a way to finagle them and get Notre Dame in. So, like, the teams that are out there, Georgia Tech is one of those really good teams that's out there. Like, there's a lot of quality that we're going to get. So it doesn't necessarily matter who we get at the Sun Bowl. At least I feel this way. It's going to be a great matchup.
It's going to be a great
matchup.
Look at that.
That's great marketing. Great marketing right there.
Matchup.
Yes.
And it's it's going to be fantastic. Really, it is going to be fantastic. It's just a matter of our football selection committee staying vigilant, standing their ground, and working the kinks out of this massive stalemate that we're in with the ACC right now. And then we'll have both teams officially announced. I can't give a set time frame, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Oh, locally sourced.
Yes, our guy Ray
what's
Jackson.
up, Ray?
Yes, having a good old time supporting what we're doing here on the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network's coverage of the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl selection show. And I was showing people, I was moving the camera around and everything. There's the crowd hasn't dissipated at all.
And that's the love of that's the El Paso love. That's the love that we get for such an event of this magnitude. And we're really grateful. Always. We're really grateful. Sorry. Grateful that we have such a great support. And that's a rarity among bowl games in general. Because you go to these other bowl games, and yeah, they have great teams, but they can't seem to fill it up unless you have a playoff level team or a first team out type of team.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the backing of such an amazing city and an amazing fan base. And it also helps that this kind of existed for 92 years as well. So it helps out a little bit.
Second oldest bowl game out there.
Yeah. So we're waiting. Thank you guys so much for waiting. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for watching this guy. And yeah, I'll be just kind of hanging around, trying to get my head in there a little bit.
I was about to say, I know it's got to be a stressful situation for the people that are in the room, and then obviously that stress moves down to the other people that are associated with it, such as yourself, and the amazing crew that y'all have out here on the Sun Bowl Association. Everyone that works with y'all, once again, it's a fantastic job that y'all are doing. I know it's got to be hell right now, because these are the exact same faces I saw 2 years ago.
Yeah, we're stressed out. This is definitely comparable to 2 years ago when Florida State was that first team out and everything moved down, everything broke down basically. I don't think we'll be here for 4 to 5 hours like last time. I'm fingers crossed, because I think there was progress made about 20 to 30 minutes ago. There's a situation where a team like Virginia had to move down from a certain spot, but we're working on it. They're working on it. I'm the one stressing out along with my marketing director, Jay Pritchard, and we're trying to figure out, try to keep everybody here, but that doesn't seem to be a problem. Everybody's staying.
I'll say
Everybody's enjoying themselves. The camaraderie here is great, and this is a fun event to look forward to. Is Selection Sunday.
They should at least bare minimum just have one of the NFL games on now. Like, let's say your Pittsburgh Steelers, who just have a 27-19 lead over the Baltimore Ravens.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Remember when everyone was joking at me whenever I said the Jags would win the division? I look like a prophet right now.
You do look like a prophet.
I said that Bears would make the playoffs and the Jags would win their division. I also said the Cowboys would miss the playoffs. So, but that doesn't take much. Like
that does not take much. But
that's prototypical for the Cowboys.
But your mouth to God's ears when it comes to. Let's hopefully see if the Pittsburgh Steelers can at least pull it off today. I hate the Ravens so much.
No, that's your rival.
I despise them.
Are you from the Pittsburgh area? Like,
no,
you're not a Yinzer?
I'm not a Yinzer. I'm an honorary Yinzer. I have friends that are in Pittsburgh, and they've called me an honorary Yinzer. I've been there enough.
There we go.
I've been to many games there, and I love the culture there. I love everything. But I grew up not liking football or not knowing about football, and I was like first grade, and my buddy taught me the rules, and he happened to be a Steelers fan, so I learned about all the greats of that era, and then they won the Super Bowl that year. So that kind of reinforced my love for them, and that was. I don't want to date you too much.
I was about to say that's like 06.
This was 2009, bud.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 2009 was the year I became a Steelers fan, and then a young man named Antonio Brown from Central Michigan got drafted. That dude was awesome. Second coming of Jerry Rice, and then
wasn't.
And then Vontez Burfict really ended that, put a halt to that really quick.
Yeah.
So, well. Oh well. But yeah, guys, thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching Just the Tip. Thank you for watching the Tipton Broadcasting Network. Because this is quality content here.
Hey, so I appreciate that.
I may head back. I see Jay potentially running around. I'm probably gonna head back in there, see what the football selection committee's up to, and see if we'll have an update for you within the next 20, 30 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5, 6,
however long it takes.
For you young fans out there, 6, 7, so I had to. So, yeah.
And you called me old.
Hell yeah, Mike. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the update, brother. Thank you. So there you go. There are deals being made, things that are happening right now. Anthony Montez asking, can we get a Notre Dame versus Virginia matchup if either school is not picked? Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to do that because they are both in the ACC. So they would both be representing the ACC. It's because of the deal that Notre Dame has where, like, in basketball, they're basically an ACC school and things of that nature. So you would never really be able to get that type of matchup. Now, where the possibility of the other matchup comes, where you're going to say, well, Tip, didn't you say that we can get Cal versus Clemson earlier? Yes, but that's because Clemson is an ACC stalwart, right? They've been in the ACC for a long time. Cal, this is, I believe, their second year in the ACC, and because they were in the Pac-12 previously, they are considered what is a Pac-12 legacy school. So because of the deal that the Sun Bowl and other various bowls had with the Pac-12 before this new evolution of what the Pac-12 is, they were able to choose from legacy schools for, I want to say, up to 5 or 6 years. It just depends on what the nomenclature says. And Cal falls into that matchup of potentially being, even though they're an ACC school, having a matchup against another ACC school. So it wouldn't just be the possibility of Cal versus Clemson. It could be the possibility of Cal versus whoever we get from the ACC, just because of Cal being a legacy school from the Pac-12. However, Notre Dame versus Virginia would not be able to happen, or if it does, that would have to be some sort of catastrophic things that happened in the background in order to get at that point. But that is a good question. Thank you for asking that question. I appreciate it, Anthony. I appreciate y'all. I know we've been doing this here now for 2.5 hours. I appreciate all of you that have tuned in, whether you stayed, whether you came in, left, came back, left, came back, left, got tired of hearing my voice at some point in time. I totally get it. I get tired of hearing my voice. Imagine, I have the headphones on where I have to hear my voice. It's a nightmare. Ashley Candelaria saying, when you say deals are put out, what does that mean? Do the teams that come get paid? Yes. There are specific purses that teams get whenever they go to bowl games, and that's any bowl game that's out there. However, that number is not what's negotiable. What's negotiable is deals that we mentioned a little bit earlier, right? There are three groups that bowl games are put into when they get to choose specific schools. I had alluded to it a little while ago where I said, look, up until I'm guessing this year, there was a understood rule that you couldn't have a quote unquote monopoly on specific teams, right? Like if Miami, for instance, were to finish number 4 in the ACC every single year, then of course UTEP would say, hey, or not UTEP, the Sun Bowl would say, hey, let's get Miami, because I mean Miami is a school that has a fan base that travels. They're dedicated. They'll come and they'll enjoy the Sun Bowl. And we'll just do that every single year. We'll just always get Miami. So the rule was that schools could not play in the same bowl in back-to-back years. So what that does, what the deals that are probably going on in the background, what that suggests to me, and of course this is just my speculation as someone that knows a little way too much when it comes to the in and outs of business of college football and the NFL and all that other nonsense, what it's saying to me is, okay, well, UTEP or Sun Bowl, hypothetically, let's say you get for 2 out of the last 3 years Notre Dame. Well, now we're going to put an embargo on you where you don't get Notre Dame for 5 to 8 years. So even if they're available to you at number 4 and they're there right there for you, you cannot select them in the future. And if you're the Sun Bowl Association, you have to say to yourself, whoa, look, that doesn't sound right to me. We got them 2 out of 3 years, and now you want us to not get them potentially for a decade? Like, that's not something that we want to do. So it's just checking to the other bowls that are associated with the ACC, not so much the Pac-12 right now, but just the ACC, and trying to figure out specific deals, right? Because at the end of the day, all these bowls care about is 1, viewership, and 2, how many tickets are being sold. And whenever you have a big name school like that, it moves the needle, right? Like, it's going to bring in money. It's a money generating machine. And you want to have the possibility of getting that school as much as possible. James Mancomo saying, what is the payout for this year's Sun Bowl for the winning team? Let me look that one up. That is a great question. Love and adoration. We are looking. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's a different thing. So if you do a quick Google search, you're going to see something that says 12,000. Trust me, it's not 12,000. It's going to be in the mid to high 6 figures, if not low 7 figures, because that's just how these games have to be paid out. And normally those numbers come after the payment. So what I will say right here is each team that participates in the college football playoff receives $3 million. So that's the upper echelon of teams. I would venture to say that the Sun Bowl is going to be anywhere, since it's a mid-tier bowl, anywhere between $750,000 to $1 million for the winner, and anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000 for the loser. And I feel like that number seems thank you for that. Like you're making me happy as someone who loves these numbers games. Okay, so the Sun Bowl payout is around 3.4 to 4.5 million for the teams that is combined, right? So combined. If we just do simple basic math, it really makes it seem like both teams could get anywhere between 1.5 to $2 million.
Just to give you a quick little update, I apologize, guys, if this is taking so long. So the way this works out, normally we get a window of time from 11:30 to 2 to get our call. On Thursday, this looked like this was a slam dunk, to be honest with you. With the CFP ruffling some feathers within the conference, it's some bargaining and some things that are going on in some polls above us that include Notre Dame's position. So that's what the holdup is. And so the conference is just left us on hold. So we are waiting to figure out what's going on in the 3 bowls that play above us before we can make our selection. I have a pretty good idea, but I can't shut it. Anyway, please be patient. I apologize it's taking so long. They're getting really frustrated. We're getting really frustrated with the conference, particularly because this has happened to us twice with the ACC. So I appreciate you guys bearing with us, and thank you for coming out.
Once again, getting our update from the Sun Bowl Association, what's going on right now. As I alluded to earlier, it's about the fallout of what happened with Duke winning their bowl game, Miami being selected ahead of Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame's positioning. How would you position Notre Dame in the ACC, given what's happened, right? So now you've got to look at all the extenuating factors that are out here. Yes, Notre Dame lost to Miami. So now how does that play out in this hypothetical of now we have to build this head-to-head matchup? How did Miami do against its ACC opponents? How did Miami do, or not Miami? How did Notre Dame do against its ACC opponents? How did Notre Dame do overall? Where does that stack up versus, let's say, a Virginia versus Georgia Tech versus some of these other upper echelon schools that are there? Then you compare, a multitude of tiebreakers. We have to remember there are dozens of tiebreakers when it comes to college athletics, when it comes to professional athletics, anything of that nature. There's all kinds of things that are out there as extenuating circumstances. So whenever you look at it from that standpoint, where would Notre Dame end up? Because now you have Duke at the top. Duke is the number 1 team in the conference because they won the conference championship game. Miami, we're taking them out. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, okay, well, since you took Miami out, now you put Notre Dame in that number 3 spot and everyone's happy. The reason why is because now you have to go off a different tiebreaker, such as strength of schedule, such as how would they have done versus mutual opponents, versus all these different things. So now it becomes a little bit of a math game. And I think I'm the only person that's excited about this because I just love the chaos that all this creates, because ultimately the system is going to have to change. It's utterly ridiculous that this is what college football comes down to, that it's not as cut and dry as what it should be. I am on the side of Notre Dame saying they should be in the college football playoff. It's just, this is the card that we're dealt. And as I alluded to earlier, my whole thing is, where is Notre Dame in all this? So we'll see what happens. As we got the update a little earlier, it all just depends on where Notre Dame lies moving forward. Like, what's going to happen here with Notre Dame as we move forward? I see my guy, the Crooked Commish, saying, what's up, Money Mike? Bear down. Then saying, bear down, Arizona. How? Oh, your Bears play a little bit later on today against the Green Bay Packers, one of the longest rivalries in all of the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, it might be actually the oldest rivalry in the NFL. The Bears at 9-3, the Packers at 8-3-1, I believe. That's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm looking forward to that game. I had to stand up for a bit. I was excited. I was moving around. We are 2.5 hours deep, or 2 hours and 40 minutes deep into what was supposed to be a 30-minute show, maybe. But it's all good. I'm glad that I have you all here with me, keeping me company. Our guy, Ryan Woodcraft, saying, what's up, Tip? How about them Lions? How about them Lions come up with their own damn catchphrase and stop stealing stuff from America's team? How about that? That was a great win for the Lions. They did exactly what I needed them to do. They killed any hope that I had of the Dallas Cowboys making the playoffs if, of course, the Eagles do their part and win a damn game. All the Eagles have to do, beat the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Dallas Cowboys' hopes of winning the division are gone, barring any type of catastrophes or anything like that. The only way the Dallas Cowboys can make the playoffs is if they win the division, because they and Philadelphia would finish with the exact same, not record, they'd have the same amount of wins, but Dallas with the tie would own the tiebreaker over the Philadelphia Eagles, which again is just chaos I want to. I want to see two teams with ties in the playoffs, which will be the Packers and the Cowboys. We'll see, though. And you know what? This is what I get, because yesterday, whenever I saw that Duke beat Virginia, I was beyond myself. Like, I was so excited. I knew that it was going to cause all kinds of chaos. You can thank me for what's happening today. I will take the credit and the blame, whatever it is you want to do. I will take that, because I am excited about this, because there are going to have to be major changes made to the system of college football right now. Man, gotta check out the teams here. Apparently, I've got some good stuff working on my fantasy teams. One team, not so much. The other one doing pretty well. Oh, come on. Well, that's terrible. I thought I was doing okay on my fantasy team. The Miami Dolphins have 6 sacks. When you have a chance to start the Dolphins defense against the Jets, you start whatever defense is going up against the Jets. That's what you do. Once again, everyone, thank you for your patience with us as we continue to wait on. What's that?
5 minutes of time slot.
Notre Dame withdraws from its
The time slot is until 2. But like 5 minutes.
Oh, no. So there has been people talking about time slots, right? Like, oh, they only have up until this amount of time to choose. It does not work that simple, right? What that does is think of it like a speed limit. How many of you actually do the speed limit? And the answer to that is hardly any of us. It's more of a suggestion now. So think of it as you're driving down that 2-lane highway, and you see the curve coming up, and you see the yellow 45-mile-an-hour speed limit suggestion. It's just a suggestion. Same thing with the on-ramp, right? Just a suggestion. That's kind of what the 2 o'clock time frame is. We also have to remember, just 2 years ago, it was well over 4.5 hours before we found out who was going to be in the Sun Bowl. I am not going to go 4.5 hours, as much as I'd love to. I've enjoyed our conversation. It's not you, it's me. Here, let me put the camera back on me. It's not you, it's me. I just, I've got a life, and I want to live that life. Got Christmas lights and stuff that are put up. Got a tree.
Just like Jay, I don't have any updated information for you right now, but do want to tell you, David Brown has moved back, our ticket manager, has moved back to the dance floor. He'll be selling tickets for the 92nd Annual Sun Bowl Association Join the Tiger Sun Bowl game. Once again, David Brown and the ticket crew will be back there on the dance floor selling tickets once we make the announcement. As you're probably checking out the screen right now, you can see why it's taking so long. Notre Dame has decided to opt out of bowl season. So we'll keep you updated with our Sun Bowl selection here shortly.
And that is a domino that needed to drop, obviously. And again, this is what I had mentioned a little while ago, and we'll recap what's going on here with the college football selection program and all that stuff, right? Notre Dame is protesting, or they had to have protested the decision from the College Football Playoff Committee, because over the last 5 weeks, we got to remember, 5 weeks, well over a month, Notre Dame was ranked ahead of Miami, where the head-to-head matchup between Notre Dame and Miami was moot. They said, look, it all comes down to quality losses. That's what separates Notre Dame from Miami. They did that for 5 weeks, 5 weeks of this. Then today comes, and Miami leapfrogs not just BYU, who lost yesterday, but Miami, because they said, okay, well, if we have these teams right next to each other in the college football playoff selection committee, the team that has the head-to-head matchup needs to go ahead. If that's the case, then it should have been that way all the way through. You cannot pick and choose which one of the tiebreakers you want to give more weight to. It's all about the head-to-head matchup, or at least establish what's going to be the most important, right? Because the College Football Playoff Committee, I think we can all agree to this over the last...
Just a quick update, this is not to figure out who's playing their game or not at all. The holdup is, and what has been holding us up the whole entire time, is that it is our belief, and we've been reported that Notre Dame is backing out of their bowl obligations. So therefore, all the bowls that were in front of us that had Notre Dame in play, they're all going to repick again, which is going to shake out everything a little differently. And so that's what they're working on right now. So hopefully within about 10, 15 minutes, we should have a good answer for you. Thank you very much.
I love how nervous they look, these poor guys. And I know it's got to be difficult for them to have to deal with all the stuff that's going on. And again, you can't fault Notre Dame, right? Like you cannot fault them. We were told this was the criteria. We won all of our games. We're on a 10-game winning streak, as a matter of fact. We are considerably the hottest team in college football right now. However, that's just not the way that it rolled. And this is all on the College Football Playoff Committee consistently getting this stuff wrong. It's been time and time again that the College Football Playoff Committee has gotten all of this stuff just wrong. So Notre Dame pulling themselves out, withdrawing voluntarily from the any consideration for a bowl game, means now that all the bowls that might have had Notre Dame ahead of them, or where they selected Notre Dame, all those bowls are now going to have to reselect from the pool of ACC teams. So now the ACC product that's going to be out there is a little lesser because of Notre Dame not being in there. And I understand Notre Dame's frustration with this. You were told for 5 weeks that you were good because you had more quality losses than what Miami did. However, win the game, right? Like it should always come down to the first tiebreaker. The number one thing that's out there should always be win the head-to-head matchup. Because now you have your destiny in your hands. Notre Dame did not do that when it came to Miami. Granted, the first game of the year, right? But we have to put weight on those wins, and we have to put weight on those losses. And ultimately, Notre Dame standing up for their principles, thinking they deserve to be in the college football playoff, just like I do. Remember, I don't think JMU and Tulane need to be in the college football playoff. They're probably going to prove me wrong and wind up playing each other in the college football playoff, which would be hilarious and more delicious chaos for me. But I just don't think it's going to be something that happens. Notre Dame should be in the college football playoff. They are understandably upset because for the last month and a half, they've been ranked ahead of Miami. And now, out of nowhere, on Selection Sunday, the playoff committee puts Miami over Notre Dame. All we ask for in these instances is consistency. And the playoff committee has been extremely inconsistent over all this stuff. James Bancomo saying, I see you have the UTEP Miners spirit. What are your thoughts on the head coach for UTEP Miners, Scotty Walden? I know this season was not the season that a lot of UTEP fans were hoping for. However, I've already heard the rumblings out there. We got to fire him. We got to do this. We got to do that. I hate that stuff. I am. It's weird the area with sports media that I cover, and this reputation that I've gained as someone who like fires coaches left and right, I don't do that. You got to give your coach a minimum of 5 years, right? This is year 2. There was meant to be some growing pains. Let's just call this his sophomore slump. Next year, let's win 4 or 5 games. Year 4, let's win 6 or 7 games. Year 5, let's make a bowl game, right? Like you get those 6 wins, you make a bowl game. That's all UTEP fans, at least from my understanding, right? Let's make a bowl. Let's potentially make a bowl, and maybe we can do something, right? Like maybe we can break this, what is it now? 58-year streak of not winning a bowl game. Let's find a way to get there. And to me, the last thing you want to do is bring in a coach like Scotty Walden, who came in with just tons of energy, and be like, fix it overnight. The problems that exist at the University of Texas at El Paso, as far as like football and all that stuff goes, runs deeper than just a 1-year fix. And if you do want the 1-year fix, you want to do what Texas Tech did, then you need your boosters to step up. And that's all of us included, myself, as someone who donates to UTEP athletics on a regular basis. They need to step up and create a real NIL collective that would make UTEP a desirable place for the top-tier athletes that want to, let me rephrase that, I don't say want to, but the top-tier athletes that only care about money. If you want to get in that game for the quick turnaround, then it's up to the boosters to have to pay for that. NIL is there now, right? Like it's all out in the open. So you either wait the long-term plan or you put your money where your mouth is. And I ain't got enough money. If I did, if I was a multi-billionaire, then I would have a $75 million collective to go straight to UTEP. I am an alum. I said it earlier. Yes, I am a Texas Tech fan, but I am a UTEP alum. And I just want to see the team actually be competitive. And I think firing the head coach would be the worst thing possible. James Bencomo saying, okay, let's flip the coin now. UTEP Miners basketball head coach, he is in year 5 already. Yep. And I agree with that as well. So now you have your full recruiting class. Now you have all of who should be your guys. And to win Conference USA doesn't take a huge coming like you it's not the ACC where you have to win 30 plus games in order to win your conference, because you got Duke and Carolina in there and NC State and all these really good basketball schools, right? In order to win Conference USA, get 25 wins, 24 maybe. Like it shouldn't be that difficult. I know it's been a tough row to hoe for UTEP recently. Now's the time, right? Like Golden came to us as a dude who did something awesome at Abilene Christian. I said, hold on, guys. Let's dial back the hope and expectations here, because that was Abilene Christian's first appearance in the NCAA tournament with him. Yes, they made some noise, right? They win an NCAA tournament game. That should not be the expectation for UTEP, because the years leading up to Golden taking that team to the NCAA tournament, there were a lot of losses in there, guys. Just a lot of losses. So it's the good and the bad. It's a cycle, right? It's year 5. I have expectations now. Win the conference, make some noise in the conference, get to that conference tournament, and anything can happen. But as of right now, if the season keeps going the way that it has, I've got to look at what UTEP's record is. Because I know it's not good. They're 3-4 right now. So you still have some time to kind of turn it around. If it keeps going this way, like you end this season with a losing record once again, then it would depend on what you do in the Conference USA tournament, right? Do you make some noise in the Conference USA tournament? If not, then maybe it's time for a change. Augustine saying head-to-head, and that's just the tip. Hey, I should have played at the 30-minute mark. I should have played the just the tip intro. Ashley saying, I like Scotty. His energy is contagious. However, I don't understand why he plays Skylar over Malachi. Probably spelled the names wrong. Malachi stinks. That's why, is what Augustine is saying to Ashley. Ryan Woodcraft saying, Iowa versus Vandy in the ReliaQuest Bowl will be an interesting matchup. Not a lot of wow bowl matchups yet. Yes, and that's because, again, like you had, I mean, Texas versus Michigan in the Citrus Bowl. I think that'll be a fun game, right? Like, that should be fun. But whenever you have Iowa State and you have other schools opting out of playing bowl games, and now you have Notre Dame opting out of playing bowl games, that's the issue that I think college football needs to fix, right? Like, you've already had this issue of, okay, well, if we're not in the college football playoff, me as an athlete, I'm just going to sit out because there's no need for me to play this game. I'm worried about my draft stock. I don't want to get hurt in this bowl game. That means nothing, right? You want to protect the bowls. I've been saying it now for the last couple of years. Got laughed at by Brandon the Iceman Cone. Got laughed at by Jason Fitz. Got laughed at by Mike Golick Jr. If you want to make this a viable bowl, all the bowls, you want to make them viable. You want to make them mean something. Then expand the playoff to 25 teams. The top 25 get in, and every bowl now becomes a playoff bowl. It's people are watching because of the storylines. What's going to happen in the playoffs? Now it matters. Now you can have the JMUs and Tulanes in the college football playoff. Because if we look at the way that they're ranked right now, let me look at what the actual rankings are. I had it up just a second ago. Looking it up right now. I'll have the standings for you. There we are. If you look at where the college football stands right now, and I'm filibustering trying to get this page to load, taking forever, causing all kinds of chaos and havoc, as some would say. I don't want that. Where are we? That was the wrong thing we're looking at. Okay. Bringing that up. Okay. So if you look at what it is right now, right? Like, we already knew what the top 10 teams were: Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami. Those are your top 10 teams. Then you have Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah, Southern California, USC, Arizona, Michigan, Virginia. Those teams right there, Notre Dame, BYU, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah, USC, Arizona, Michigan, Virginia, those 10 teams were leapfrogged by Tulane, who is the number 20 team right now, to get into the college football playoff. Leapfrog. Just because they won whatever damn conference they're in, which I don't think anyone cares about. Was it the AAC? Something like that. Then you have Houston, Georgia Tech, and Iowa, along with the other 10 teams that we mentioned that were leapfrogged by James Madison to be in the college football playoff. You expand it to 25 teams. Now you have the 3 group of 5 teams in there because you have to add in North Texas, which is number 25 in the college football rankings right now. That is the only way in hell that you can make it even for everybody. Because if you're not in the top 25, you shouldn't complain in the first damn place, right? Like, you're just not good enough to be in the top 25. Make it a 25-team playoff. Now you make all these bowls matter, and now you don't have to worry about schools holding out of going to the bowl games. Really that simple. James Bencomo saying, do you think the Mountain West Conference is going to be good for UTEP? No, I think it's going to be a lateral move, if not a slight step back. The Mountain West that UTEP is moving to is not the same Mountain West that we have come to know and love with like the BYU, or with like the BYUs and Boise State's and like all those schools in it, right? Like it's not that Mountain West anymore. And if I'm not mistaken, let's see who the 2026 is going to be. So you got Air Force Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, UNLV, San Jose, UTEP, Wyoming, and Northern Illinois, which is going to be football only for them. Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State will be doing like their own little thing as well, right? But they're not going to be the same after this next version of realignment. Like it's just not going to happen that way. Like Grand Canyon is going to be joining for basketball. UC Davis is going to be joining for as non football member as well. And in 2027, there's going to be, more additions and things like that. And like I look at those schools, and it feels just the same as if UTEP had stayed in Conference USA. It makes travel a little easier. Like you don't have to worry about the East Coast games with UTEP anymore. But it's just, it's either a lateral move or a slight step back. I don't see it as a step forward because it's not the same Mountain West that gained a reputation for itself, because those schools now have moved to the new version of the Pac-12. Well, that's a great question, though. Got some more alerts on my fantasy team. Oh, we are past the witching hour. Let's see what games have gone final, what games are not final, who's done what where. After having a 6-3 lead in the second quarter, halfway through the second quarter, the Atlanta Falcons found a way to lose to the Seattle Seahawks 37-9. Sam Darnold looking like he is actually the truth. The Jacksonville Jaguars with a stranglehold right now, 36-19 over the Indianapolis Colts. This will give the Jacksonville Jaguars a de facto 2-game lead over the Indianapolis Colts as we come down the wire for the division title right here. The Titans, wow. With and AirPods. I hope everyone can hear me. That was inconvenient as all heck, because I might lose. Lost one of my cameras. I'm gonna probably lose this other camera. Lost power to my power strip, so I've got to be on my headphones now as I am talking to y'all. I hope that you can still hear me, and I will just adjust this camera to me, so I don't have to worry about moving my head or anything like that. That way I can conserve energy on the other camera that's over there. And we'll turn that off for now. Yeah, there we go. I guess just unplug. Like it has to be something in their thing. They probably popped a thing. Yeah, we'll just do this like this for now. I think we're okay, right? Okay, Ashley's letting me know that it does sound good. Thank you, Ashley, for that. I appreciate you. Luckily, I have a full battery on my computer. My AirPods are full right now as well. My phone, which is I'm using for Wi-Fi, is 90%. Just don't have other camera angles right now, which is inconvenient as all heck. Yeah, I just heard like a radio right now say something about a breaker. Don't worry about it for now. We'll see if we can plug it in a little bit later. If not, that's not a big deal. We'll be fine. I think their power went out over there too. After another shocking 13-10 loss and to end the regular season, go blue. Does Ohio State go on to win the Natty again? That's such an interesting question, Ryan, because I think the Big Ten this year was fraudulent. I genuinely do. Ohio State didn't really play anybody outside of Michigan, outside of Indiana, I guess, and Indiana didn't really play anybody either. Like the Big Ten to me is just it's mediocre. So I can't see a scenario where like Ohio State is exponentially or incrementally better than Texas Tech per se, right? I just don't see it that way. And maybe it's me being a fan, right? Do you think that Ohio State's better than Georgia? And then let's go with this hypothetical. If Ohio State were to pull Texas A&M or Miami, which is who they're going to get following this next game, is Ohio State that much better than those schools? And I would say I think Texas A&M, and I'm not like I don't like Texas A&M by any means at all, but I would say Texas A&M is the better school out of the two, right? I you get the benefit of the doubt because of the conference you're in. Let's look at Alabama, for instance, being in the college football playoff. It's a 3-loss Alabama team that's in the SEC, and we always give the benefit of the doubt to the SEC and to the Big Ten because these are where the big boys play, right? But I feel like the Big 12 was represented very well this year. I feel like the ACC was represented very well this year. It's sacrilegious to me that there's one school from the ACC, which is a really good conference, in the college football playoff. So looking at it from that standpoint, like I think maybe, right, the sun shines on the dog's ass every now and then. They might be that dog's ass, who knows? But I can't see a scenario where that is the case. Can you plug it in? Because maybe it'll actually, did I see they turned their light on? Maybe the breaker got fixed. We'll see. Because I want to be able to use the camera. Like that's the main thing I care about as of right now. Whenever they make the selection, whenever the selection may be made. As we are out here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino. There we go. We got our power back. Okay. So, give me a second. I'm going to disconnect from the AirPods. I'm going to turn my cameras back on. I guess while I have the AirPods on, we'll do this. What a day. Huh? Yeah, we're good. I guess I don't need this camera right now. Some of the stuff. I got to go over to my OBS account now and refresh that thing. Yeah, we do have that camera up. Transition. Hey. Yeah, super used to have that. Yeah, good. We are good. That's good. Turn this back this way. Okay. Fix some things. You all get to see what it's like to run a live show, and then out of nowhere, your power just goes out. It's gone. And you're just sitting there thinking to yourself, like, "Oh no, what did I do? What has gone wrong here? Why does it have to continue to be this way?" Okay, before I change audio, let's change our camera. We'll change it to our OBS virtual camera, which is still on and running. Hey, look at that. A beautiful look of the crowd. It's thinned out a little, I will be honest with you, and let you know that it has thinned out a little bit. And now we will change back. Audio settings. Are we back on the audio settings? Let me see. It looks and seems like we are. Hey, at least we got that going for us. So there was a fuse that got popped as we were going through our stuff. Hey, the Tipton cam is working right now. There we go. Man. Again, remember, this was only supposed to be like an hour-long broadcast. Now we're at 3 hours and 10 minutes, 31 seconds, and holding it strong. That's what we're doing best. Ryan, what are your thoughts? Like, do you? I know you're a Michigan guy. Do you think that Ohio State has what it takes? Because to me, I feel like it was a down year for the Big Ten, and that's just based off of and that shows you how good the Big Ten has been over the last couple of decades. Where this year could be considered a down year for the Big Ten, but that's just once again my thoughts on it, right? Like, so I want to get your thoughts as a guy who is our de facto representative of the Big Ten. What are your thoughts? Does Ohio State have what it takes? And you have to put your Michigan bias aside. I know you're one of the most biased Michigan people that there has ever been. Oh, I need to confirm my massage for tomorrow. Shout out to Golden Lotus. I was also thinking of taking a quick break, guys, because I've been talking for 3.5 hours straight almost. Because Augustine was being a jerk to me. I think I got some commercials I can play. Yeah, I got a couple of commercials. Are you all fine with a 2-minute break is what I'm going to ask. And, oh, God, now I got to make sure this is working before I hit that and make sure that it's good to go because, had I done that, that would have been deafening. So thank God I looked at that before I hit the commercial break. All right. So we've got that going on right now. Once again, we are live over here at Sunland Park Racetrack and Casino for the 92nd annual Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl Selection Show. We're trying to find out what teams are going to be available here for us here at the Sun Bowl. We got some teams to choose from. We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back on the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network. The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com.
Wonder how they're you really hear more?
A mí a veces me hace un sorteo y a veces me ha tocado llevarlo. Me ha tocado seguir llevarlo a las cosas, pues yo encantada. ¿Ya encontró?
Just giving everybody a quick heads up of what's going on right now. We're still waiting to hear back from the Sun Bowl Selection Committee on what teams they are going to be selecting here to the 92nd annual Sun Bowl game, Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl game. I am taking a quick break right now because I've been talking for 3.5 hours, and I'm tired of talking for 3.5 hours. So I will take a quick break. I will be back in just a few seconds. You'll hear some ambient noise. I'm also recharging our wireless microphone that we have out there because it's been on for 3.5 hours. So we're recharging that to make sure that we can have a clear announcement whenever the announcement is made. So I'm just taking a little break, y'all. Just letting y'all know. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Since 1935, one event has brought us together for the passion, the pageantry, and the celebration of the upper echelon of college football. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. New Year's Eve at noon. Don't miss El Paso's greatest game.
And of course, as soon as I say that, they start going up on the stage. So let's see how this goes. There's that. We'll go in. Let's see if we zoom in just a little bit. That is the Sun Bowl court. Let's see if the announcement is about to be made right now. There's Bernie Olivas making his way out there. It looks like the announcement is about to be made right now.
Good evening. I know it started out as good morning. And we went through good afternoon. But now we're in good evening. That lets you know it had nothing to do with what we do or what we do or what went on. And I'll tell you what the commotion was about or what the delay was, and you probably already know. But you know, Notre Dame is part of the ACC, so they the bowl thing, and Notre Dame opted out of going to a bowl game, and that's what started it. You know, we already had everything set, but we had to start all over again. All right, when Notre Dame opted out of going to a bowl game, and I apologize. I said it's not our fault. It's not Notre Dame's fault. They had the right to do that. But we're here to announce who is playing in the 92nd Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. And you met our Sun Court. We met our son court, the lovely young ladies who represent the Sun Bowl, and the other people behind me are part of the selection. This is the selection committee. We have been sitting in that room for 3.5 hours trying to find out who is going to play in our 20th time Sun Bowl, and it's changed. It changed a couple of times. Every time the commissioners went into a meeting and came back, everything changed. So, without further ado, I'd like to announce, or I'd like to have the announcement of who will be playing the Sun Bowl. And first of all, we will go with the visiting team, and to do that is our football chairman, who has been with Sun Bowl for about 60 years. I know he only looks like 35, but he's been around for a while. All right, but he is here to announce who the visiting team will be from the Pac-12. John?
Thank you very much for apologizing for taking so long. Thank you all for staying. It's a great event for El Paso. It's been a great event. Forever, it seems like. Second oldest bowl. As many years that we've been on television with CBS. This is a big pleasure for me, especially being able to introduce my alma mater again. And that is Arizona State University. Thank you very much. Go Devils.
Thank you, John. He asked if he could put suit up and play in it, but I think his eligibility is up. Next, our home team from the ACC. Got a big surprise to us, but I'm going to let our president, Tabby Gladkowski, announce who will be the home team this year.
Okay, we're going to make you wait a little bit longer. So if anyone was watching last night, we have the ACC championship team. We're really excited to have them. Both teams are going to be great. Everyone get your tickets. It's going to be an exciting game. Bye, Gotcha.
There you have it. There you have it. We have a conference champion, which I don't believe we've had maybe ever. And of course, Arizona State right up the street. We expected to bring a lot of people into our city, spend some money here, be great for our economy. And of course, Duke has been asking to come here for about the last 4 weeks. The athletic director has been begging me to take him. Well, as soon as I get off of this mic, I have to call her and send an invitation. So stick around. Media will be available for interviews if you like. But right now, it is going to be Arizona State against the Duke Blue Devils. All you angels out there, sorry, but we got a few devils going to be a few devils playing in something this year. All right. Thank you very much. Like I said, media, we're available for interviews if you need. I know you guys have deadlines as well. Thank you very much.
So there you have it, the matchup between the Duke Blue Devils and the Arizona Sun Devils. A devilish matchup happening here at the Sun Bowl, the 92nd annual Sun Bowl game. I don't think he does, but if he can come, that would be awesome. I know he's gonna be super busy right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Did that one with you last year.
Yes.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, 2-3 minutes will be good with that. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, sir. We are wheeling and dealing over here as we are getting ready to do some stuff. Excited to see that the matchup here for the 92nd annual Sun Bowl is going to be between.
David Brown is in the back of the room. He is selling tickets, selling parking. Please go visit him, get your tickets. Believe it or not, even before announcements, our ticket sales have been fantastic. And I want to thank you and all Pascal for supporting the Sun Bowl the way they do. But David Brown is out there in the back of the room, and he's ready to sell tickets. So, we need a ladies' touch out here, making sure we get it right. Thank you, Brooke. So anyway, just want to make the announcement. Go get your tickets. He's standing in the background over there. Thank you.
There you go. There are tickets still available to purchase, so you can go purchase those tickets for the Sun Bowl. the matchup between Arizona State and the Duke Blue Devils. It's going to be a fun matchup for me. I'm being asked right now by James Bancomo, what's the prediction on the game, final score, and who do you think will win it all? I'm leaning more towards Arizona State. Arizona State has been a solid team. Like I said, they beat the number 4 team in the country right now in Texas Tech. Texas Tech's only blemish on their record is at the hands of Arizona State. So it's going to be a fun game to be able to watch that, to be able to be a part of that. Now, obviously, you have Duke, who is the ACC champion. Normally, that does not happen. Normally, there's not a case where the ACC champion is allowed to fall down to the Sun Bowl and be a part of this game. So like Bernie Oliva said, we just witnessed history happen here at the 92nd Annual Sun Bowl, where you have a conference champion in Duke here at the Sun Bowl. And of course, all this made possible because of the curveballs that were thrown, the myriad of curveballs that were thrown during the ACC championship, during the CFP selection, and everything that they were doing there. So now you have Duke taking on Arizona State, a devilish matchup here in the Sun City. Or as some people would call it, hell, because it does get hotter than hell in the city of El Paso. Oh, Ryan Woodcraft saying, not so fast, my friend. Duke is hot right now. 34-31 Blue Devils. You know, I think a part of me, and I get you, man, Duke is hot. Duke just won the ACC, right? Like they are a conference champion. That's going to hold some weight for them. But what I will say is that Arizona State, once again, maybe it's just my bias being a Texas Tech fan, being someone who was born on Michael Jordan's birthday and Michael Jordan's rookie year, that I lean more towards UNC. Maybe it's me being all kinds of different bias right now. But I will say this. I believe Arizona State is the better team out of the two. James, who do you think is going to be the winner here? What do you think is going to be the outcome? I do like that, though, Ryan, for letting me know on there. I got a couple of friends. I'm gonna see if they want to come from North Carolina to watch the Duke Blue Devils in what should be a rather competitive game against Arizona State. I'm excited for this matchup. I think we all kind of knew. We kind of leaned towards the Pac-12 team was already known. We already knew who was more than likely going to be representing the Pac-12. I think the majority of us, if you've been a part of what we've been doing, you kind of know that was more than likely going to be the team. There was only 3 teams to choose from. And now you have the Arizona State Sun Devils and a conference champion in Duke. I think it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. Like I genuinely believe it's going to be a phenomenal matchup. And let me get out of there. What are we doing here? There we go. I am looking at the standings in the Big 12. Arizona State is 8-4 on the season. So you have a matchup of 2 teams that have won 8 games plus. One of them is a conference champion. I think it's going to be a fun game. I genuinely do. I think the final score, 34-31, feels about right, but I don't want to be, doing the 34-31 thing with Ryan. So what I'm going to say is I think it's going to be 41-38. Let's go with that. 41-38. I'm expecting a high-scoring game out of this one, which I probably shouldn't. But I'm expecting a shootout. I'm expecting it to be fun. It feels like it's going to be a good one. James Mancomo saying ASU upset finally. High-scoring game. ASU 38, Duke 34. Which I would be good with. I think that's a very solid score right there. I just didn't want to do the 34-31 like Ryan because that's kind of where I was leaning to begin with. But Ryan stole my thunder with that score right there. So now I got to adjust. And I got to say we're going to get more points, the most points ever in a Sun Bowl. Let's go with that. I wonder what the record. Now you can see how my shows go. I wonder what the record for most points in a Sun Bowl is. Wow. So Oregon put up 56 points. And it was the highest combined score game was UCLA and Northwestern, where they combined for 88 points. UCLA had 50, Northwestern had 38. So I just want a high-flying, high-scoring matchup. That's what I'm looking for. I know they said that there is media availability. I know they've got a lot of other things that are going on. So I feel like what we should do here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton and Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network is, first off, thank you all, those of you that tuned in. I am overwhelmed by the amount of numbers that I saw right here, even though I didn't get as many comments as I thought I would. I am happy with the numbers and everything that we got. I am thankful to you all for tuning in to the show today as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to end it right here. I've had your attention for 3.5 hours. I appreciate that more than you know. But we will end the show right here. I will do interviews. We'll put those interviews up on social media. We'll put them up on the Tipping Point. We'll be airing them on the Tipping Point. We will be back tomorrow. The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. If you like the show that we did today, you want to continue to support, you can do so on the various channels that you're doing that on. We're going to be doing the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Monday is only going to be a 30-minute show because of Monday Night Football. I'm not going to go head-to-head with Monday Night Football. But we'll be doing that. I want to thank you all for being a part of what it is that we're doing here with the Tipton Sports Broadcasting Network. I appreciate your time, and we will be talking to you all later. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you out at the 92nd Annual Sun Bowl as the Duke Blue Devils host the Arizona State Sun Devils. We'll see you all then.